Bazinga. You know? You ever feel that way?
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel a little bit of a jinkies,
Jinkies?
Yeah,
Jinkies has nothing on Bazinga. Do you know what you're fucking talking about? Jesus
Scott
Christ,
listen to this
Mithi.
podcast? Because if he does, he's going to be very upset with me.
No, I think Scott would agree. Scott wholeheartedly agrees. Bazinga, best catchphrase of any TV show of all time. That's my point.
No, it's not. The best catchphrase in every TV show is "Run, Barry, run," because we hear it so often. I think that's the best catchphrase in every TV show. Christian, what's your favorite catchphrase?
Yeah, Christian's here, by the way.
Yeah.
My favorite catchphrase.
Yeah, what's your favorite catchphrase?
Just want to start. Thanks for starting us off with just a little dose of existential dread. My favorite catchphrase is actually quite recent. It's about drive.
There he is.
It's about power.
Australian internet. This will be fun.
Fuck you. Wait, it's about drive. It's about power. We stay hungry. We devour.
Put in the work. Put in the hours.
Mithi,
think what's ours?
Yeah.
Christian, I hope you know Mithi and I have full power to always, at any moment in time, kick you out of this.
I don't want to.
Try me, bitch.
New co-host of the podcast.
I fear nothing.
Take Troy out because he said it's about drive, it's about power.
That would be really fucking funny if you guys overtook this podcast. If you overtook Fanboy Talk, that'd be very.
Every episode,
but you still use my email for the YouTube account and for like AdSense and everything.
We only get to do 7 episodes. The first episode is called "It's About."
Are we
drive.
on 7? I'm gonna real. I have lost track of how many episodes we've done since we started over.
I think it's 7.
Accidentally posted the one of the videos. One of the episodes I said was episode 6, and we got a bunch of comments being like, "Where'd episode 5 go?" And I just forgot. I
think
lost track.
Changed that because everyone was like, "Huh?" I think it's because
I can't. It's just like there's nothing linear about this. What are we doing?
Yeah.
We're just going back and forth.
There's no point to.
This really is the Seinfeld of podcasts when you think about it.
This is, Someone walks into the door, says something. We're not addressing Troy's background for good reason.
I don't think we should. I think just leave it alone. Let that be a thing specifically just for the video watchers. Audio listeners, you're not going to get this. And you know what? You know what? You guys get everything. All right. We always cater to the audio listeners. We're always like, all right, make sure the audio listeners know. No, sometimes the video watchers just got to get it all. Sometimes the video watchers deserve rights.
I brought this up like 2 podcasts ago, and you were like, Mithi, no one watches videos. They all go to Spotify and listen to it on Spotify.
It's called character growth, all right?
There
I'm a changed man.
Get an ultra wide, put it on the second monitor, do something with it, But look at our faces. Look at us as we're looking at you. We are looking at you in your soul. But yeah, hello everyone. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello everybody. Welcome to Fanboy Talk. Oh, Christian's got. Oh,
look at us,
Christian. You
look at us.
Oh God, I swear to God, you're really messing with God here.
Yeah.
You're really.
I am God.
You see why I'm so excited to beat the fuck up out of this guy with our our extremely intensive Eternals debate that's gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
I'm so excited to beat you to
so excited for a debate about a Marvel movie. That'll be the most exciting thing in the world. What'd you like? Oh, I liked when they fucking punched the guys. What the fuck else happened in that movie? I don't fucking know. But anyway, welcome to Fanboy Talk. This is TroyBoy17. I'm joined by my co-host as usual, Mithi, also known as Film Caffeine. And today we're joined as well by Christian, otherwise known as Production Journal, on YouTube. How's it going, Christian?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Glad to hear it.
You didn't ask me, but okay,
Goodbye.
fine.
All right, see you around. And everybody, this has been Christian from Production Journal.
Thank you for
listening. I just realized that my display name has my official credits, but not my actual.
It doesn't show up in the
name?
recording. I've noticed. I've realized that.
It doesn't concern me. But I'm like, that's weird. I specifically
you're gonna get
changed
doxxed.
it.
I'm gonna dox the fuck out of you.
My name is on the internet anyway.
Live in Australia.
For people who don't know, his full name is Mariah Carey. That's what it is. It's just a complete front. That's what we're talking about.
All I want for Christmas is to kill you.
I'm gonna talk about this right now because I don't care about our fucking standards. It's Christmas season / holiday season.
No, it's not. It's Hanukkah season, motherfucker.
Okay,
it's Hanukkah.
It's holiday season. It's holiday season.
No, it's Hanukkah
Is it
season.
not holiday season?
Nope, not holidays. Hanukkah. I'm being one of those guys.
What's
I'm being like those fucking Republicans with Christmas, where they're like, oh, you didn't say hey Merry Christmas to me. You said Happy Holidays. No, fuckers. Say Happy Hanukkah until Hanukkah's over. All right.
Okay.
That's how we're gonna do it. When it's happening, that's when we fucking say it. You don't say Merry Christmas. You don't say Happy Birthday to somebody when it's not their fucking birthday.
You want me to be? You want to be more woke on you? You want me to be more woke on you? I don't celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah. What do you do with me? Huh?
I say go fuck yourself.
You celebrate the end?
Fuck you. There's a reason we don't invite CJ on this podcast, and it's for the sole reason.
Well, he's also too tall. He meets the.
That's true.
We just couldn't fit him in the frame.
Yeah.
He would be
That's actually a good
Hey
transition.
guys, how's it going? It's CJ.
Jesus. That's actually a good transition. Do you want to talk about what we did this weekend/week?
It's a very good transition, actually.
and I think Christian should go
You're getting
first
good at this, Mithi. I just want to say you've improved a lot over these past 7 weeks. I'm very proud of you.
I have become the
right now. You're
expert
fired.
podcast.
You're getting better than me. I can't have it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Christian, what do you do this weekend? Because you told us, and I want you to tell other people stuff.
Yeah. I still don't really have a way to like succinctly like announce it in like a single sentence, but essentially I've just been working on a project for the past 8 months. Technically more, but I'm just saying like pre-production. It officially was 8 months ago. Where it's a pirates project between myself and 2 other Australian YouTubers, Dare to Entertain, which is Charles,
Banger.
and CJ
Charles.
from Charles is brilliant. And also CJ from That One Doesn't Count. And they both make banger videos. Go check that out. I'm gonna plug their stuff. So sue me, Troy. Don't really care.
You Australians.
I just love how I shouted out Charles. It's like, yeah, I love Charles, and then when someone said CJ's name, nobody said anything. Mithi, I thought that was your opportunity.
That was supposed to be my cue, but guess what, CJ? I didn't do it.
That's what you get. That's what you get for making a response video, motherfucker.
I am no longer gonna promote anyone who disagrees with me on Eternals.
Honestly, that's the best.
Prick.
Nobody gets free clout. No more free clout. I'm over it.
No more free clout.
I've given you guys too much clout to begin with.
That is true. I have
gotta work
too
for
much
it.
clout now, and it's become a problem.
You do.
But yeah, no. Christian has been shooting this thing, and I guess test shooting this thing, right? You showed us some footage of like stuff, and oh my goodness, you gotta.
Did you want me? Actually, would you want me to send you some stuff to put up on screen during the podcast?
I'm not editing this, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I do enough for this show. This is my side gig.
I'm gonna preface this.
This is not a YouTube video.
That way I can get the Mithi, thing. So now he can support me. Eternal sucks. It was a cool day. It was a very laborious 10-hour day of filming.
It's the one thing I didn't expect. All the memes. I expected you guys to shoot and have fun. But like I came on Twitter after taking like a 1 or 2 hour nap in the middle of the day because it's a Sunday and I can do that.
I literally thought you were gonna say after taking a shit, and I was like, "Good job, man."
It was
That's
as
the best
productive.
time to check Twitter.
It was honestly less productive. But there's a good amount of memes. CJ is. I think we just need to title this podcast "CJ is too tall," even though he's not even on the fucking podcast.
Yeah, that'll definitely do well
Christ,
with the YouTube algorithm. It'll definitely do great.
He is,
yeah. But
he dwarfs us.
Yeah. But yeah, no, you gotta fucking, at some point I need to come to Australia, and instead I had a bit where I was gonna steal your Daily Bugle. I'm gonna steal your Animorphic lens. That's what I'm gonna do instead.
Oh, you're not welcome here.
Oh, okay.
Mine?
I just like went full sad mode.
Can I come steal your Daily Bugle? I gotta work on it? Okay. We'll get there.
Yeah, I
guess. Get there. I'll swim there.
Yeah,
you'll
get there.
That's fine.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah. What did you do, Troy?
What did I do? Fuck. We watched a lot of Seinfeld.
I was gonna say.
I don't know if you can tell. I'm thinking about Seinfeld a lot. Seinfeld's like, it's crazy. It's like such a perfectly written show. It's like absurd.
It is Dalen's favorite show. We were talking about it.
Really?
And Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I need to watch Curb. I couldn't get into Curb because it's too much. It's too cringe. Like it's too embarrassing, But like fucking Seinfeld is like the way that they interweave all the fucking stories and shit in like some of the best episodes. It's so fucking great. I love it. Banger, banger, banger. George Costanza, best character on TV. But what else did I fucking
Every
do?
time I look at him, I think he's the guy from what's the movie? Princess Bride. I don't know why.
Yeah, he gives that vibe.
The hair, I think. Yeah,
he gives that vibes.
Yeah.
What else did I fucking do? We started rewatching Glee, so that's a fun time. Season 1 of Glee is interesting. I really have no opinions to say. What did I read? Did you get to see Grant
Gustin be an asshole? Was that part of the season you watched?
Oh no. We're still on season. They're long seasons. I vividly remember season 1 only being like 13 episodes, but it's like 25. It's like and they're long episodes, so it's gonna take it. Yeah. But I read comics for the first time in forever.
That's like, not a thing.
That was fun.
Comics?
I know. I usually just read the Wikipedia articles. But what did I read? Here, let's grab my stack. It's on my bed. Okay, DC vs. Vampires. I read that last week.
I did read that too.
It was pretty cool. It was very fun. It's very cool. The art's great. Oliver was in one panel.
Yeah.
And so
it's not even him. It's just like his chest.
Yeah, I know.
Abs.
But they're building up to him. It's gonna be great. I didn't read Human Target yet, which I've been meaning to. I'm like, Tom King stuff is best read when it's like all in a one sitting, you know?
In a compendium.
Yeah, so I'll wait a little bit, and then I'll probably read like the first 3 issues when those are out. But the art looks really cool. I've heard very good things about that. The other Green Arrow book that came out was the Deep Target book with Aquaman, by something Thomas, and click by all these names. It's this one. Is it going to show? There it is. This was a weird one. I didn't hate it. I liked it a lot because it's Green Arrow and my standards are so fucking low. But it's like, I don't know if I want. It's not really a spoiler because it's like the premise of the fucking book is that Arthur and Oliver switch bodies. So it's like Oliver is Aquaman. And not even that they're switch bodies. It's like the timeline got fucked. So like Oliver Queen is Aquaman and King of Atlantis, and Arthur Curry is. It's Oliver Curry and Arthur Queen. It's an interesting way to do it, and it's like Oliver's still Oliver, so he's like written well and shit, but it's like Oliver without a bow and arrow is like, okay, fucking less interesting, you know. But it's cool. The art's fun, you know. It seems like a fun time. I'm just gonna pick it up because I'm so fucking starved for all of it.
The only thing that it reminds me of is Elseworlds. And I know that's the wrong comparison.
Yeah, no, I feel that. It definitely is.
It's not the same, but it's like a weird mix of like, okay, they're the same people, but like their lives have switched in a way.
Yeah, and I don't know what they're doing. It's definitely doing like a timeline thing because there's like time travel involved. It'll be cool though. It seems like it'll be fun. And then I read the fucking Tom Taylor book, The Dark Knights of Steel.
That came out already?
It's not. It came out. It came out this week. This is really fucking cool. You should read this if you haven't yet. I very much recommend it.
Tomorrow.
It's
I have not read it yet.
It's definitely like it's not like most other like, oh, it's an Elseworlds and they're like so many other Elseworlds that try to do the same thing, like just make everybody the same character, and it's just like Batman with a suit of armor. You know, they don't really do anything like interesting with it. This is like from the ground up reconstructing and recontextualizing the characters in a medieval landscape and shit. So like from the very beginning, fucking Jor-El and Laura, they come to Earth. They come to Earth when she's pregnant. And it's like and so that just kind of so fucking Clark grew up with Jor-El and his mom instead of with the Kents. But he still grew up like a good kid and shit. And then like there's like Jor-El created like a warring faction, and it's really interesting, and Bruce is like a bastard, you know, he's like a Jon Snow. It's really fucking cool. I really, really dig it. And there's like assassination, and like fucking Green Lantern is like it's like a kind of like a Morgan Le Fay, yeah. No, is that the right character?
Morgan Le Fay.
Yeah.
The wizardess.
The witch, yeah. In like it's like kind of like a villainous sort of like witchy character, which is really interesting. They call him the Green Man. It's
not the Green Hornet.
Not the Green Hornet, unfortunately. Could you imagine if the Green Hornet was in this? That'd be fucking rad.
Yeah.
No, but it's really cool. Tom Taylor kills it as always, and I would recommend. It's one of these things where it's like, it's not the most original thing because Marvel did something similar with Marvel 1602. And it's like Deceased, where Deceased isn't the most original thing. It's just Marvel Zombies, but for DC. But getting Tom Taylor on that proves that he's like the best writer working today. because he took a thing that's like, oh yeah, okay, and then he made it like, oh yeah, okay. That makes sense.
I mean, that's what he did with Injustice, right? Is he took a thing that they were like, okay, this is cool, and then expanded it heavily and like actually fleshed it out.
And like with Deceased, it's like Marvel Zombies is cool. Like it's not like the best Marvel book out there or anything. Nobody would say it is. I think I would if somebody asked to get into the DC universe, I might give them Deceased, just because it's like Injustice in the way that it goes across the whole universe and like meets every character, and it's not Batman focused, which is really nice, and I really appreciate that. But
I think it's hard with DC too, because it's like if you were to not give them something that is Elseworldy, would you like have to give them Dark Knight's Metal?
Yeah, you don't
like,
get
that's a weird picture of the DC universe,
because it's like
it's hard to do crossovers now that it's just been so long.
And like, how do you introduce somebody to the universe aside from just exposing them to it? And Injustice and Deceased do a really good job of like weaving other characters into the narrative in a way that like fits and shit, and that's why I like those books a lot.
I guess the only problem is I think that's kind of why so many people think of Superman the way that they do. It's just because
that's fair.
That's the casual.
But even then, the Injustice comics, like, they make it clear that Superman's fucked. They're like, yeah, Superman's kind of fucked around a little bit. He fucked around and found out. And like the I don't know. I'm very tired, and I don't really have like opinions on shit right now.
Yeah.
But Dark Knights of Steel, definitely recommend it. Definitely, it's very cool. Very good book.
I'll try to read it tomorrow or day after tomorrow or something. Because I was looking forward to reading it. I didn't even know it came out. I just saw like one post about it because not a lot of people are talking about it.
Yeah, comics marketing is fucked. Comics marketing is bad. I don't know when things come out. I didn't know the Fortnite book even came out, and then I couldn't find it.
That's a reference for it's Dark Knights of Steel, and then it's Fortnite book.
Yeah.
Wait, so it did come out though. So I didn't even know that came out.
The Fortnite book? Yeah.
Did it come out?
That's out. Yeah.
I didn't even know that. See, comics marketing sucks.
Yeah.
You're right.
And it's like, and then with digital stuff, it's like, I don't even know where you buy digital comics anymore. Because it used to be you bought them through the DC app, and that DC app is gone. And it's like,
imagine buying comics through HBO Max.
Oh God.
That'd be
boy.
Weird. They'd not.
I wouldn't hate that though if they just moved their DC Universe like Infinite subscription thing into HBO Max. Like, because HBO Max is fucking $15 a month. It kind of sucks.
I think DC Universe was advertised less as a streaming platform, more as the DC fans compendium of stuff.
Yeah, and
you can't do that with HBO Max.
I really like DC the way it currently is, the DC Universe Infinite. It just has all the old shit, and it's nice. And not all the old shit. It doesn't have Sandman, but like, I don't know. It's a good service. It's not as good as Marvel Unlimited, but it's better organized, I think. Yeah, I don't know. People shit on that service, but I like it. I think it's fun. It's better than pirating comics, that's for sure.
I'm trying to think of what else I did.
I don't think I did.
I mean,
I shot.
I started working on this short, Disarmed, and we've been shooting some stuff for it. Christian, I think you saw a little bit of it, and Troy also saw a little bit of it. But yeah, it's been fun. We are gonna do a couple reshoots and hopefully finish up the short this next Thursday. It's just me and Dalen shooting it, but definitely looks a little different from a lot of the stuff I shot before. We're shooting it with a gimbal. We're shooting it with a better camera. We're shooting it with a lot of different like writing things that I put in mind as well. So it's gonna be pretty cool. And I'll hopefully have a trailer for that soon. That was very weird because like we were tired by the end of it. And Christian, I wanted to ask you too if like what it was like for you guys when you were test shooting. For us, since there was, not to spoil things, there were a lot more action scenes stuff, but then it was a lot of like, okay, when I'm editing this, I don't know how I'm gonna put it together. So like we need 4 different angles, but we need to retry it like 3 times during every single one of these angles, you know? So then I have to like we'd have to like do a full fight sequence that takes like 15 seconds, like again and again and again, like at least like 20 or 30 times by the end of the night. And it just gets so exhausting. Christian, I mean, I guess you guys didn't have, I don't know if you want to disclose a lot about what you were shooting, but like, did you feel that too? Because like, I don't know how the fuck to deal with that, especially when it's like super late at night and we're just like, we want to push through and finish this, but it's just tiring, I guess.
We had a very long day. We were from like initiation to conclusion, it was about 10 or 11 hours. And that was, essentially what we did was just test shooting and stuff. So it was just us moving from location to location, grabbing photos and stills and seeing what worked for us. But we did have a real quick, like, 1.5 minute long mock-up script that I wrote, because I just wanted to test what a scene would look like with our equipment. It was intense because even just something that small, we had 6 people there. So we had 3 actors, and then we had cinematographer, had an audio guy, and we had someone else as just like general management to help us out with whatever we couldn't do. By the time we get to filming, we're gonna need like at least 12 to 15 because it was intense just between the 6 of us. So I don't know how you managed to do it with like 3 or 4 people, because
it was just 2. It was just me and Dalen. It's hard. It's like, I don't know. It's a lot of setting up camera, doing a tripod shot, then setting up. Oh, okay. And I think the nice thing about the gimbals are at least they have tripod mounts on them. If they didn't have tripod mounts on them, Jesus Christ, we wouldn't have gotten anything done. Like, I think it's just nice to be able to take things and move it from place to place to place. But
our issue is picking things up and moving them around, and because at least the nature of where we're shooting, we need the audio guy with the lav mics to be listening in and making sure that it sounds fine. And on top of that, we need someone to be like holding the whole boom pole with the mic on the end and just moving around. And we need someone to walk around with like a reflector in case it gets too dark so we can bounce some of that light off. But I mean, thankfully for us, just because of the nature that we were filming along a beach, the sand was like a bit of a natural reflector. So if we're filming on a sunny day and we're getting a bit of shadows in our face, we'll just move to the sand where it'll just bounce the light back up. But yeah, it's intense. Like, I can't really imagine how you can do it with just 2 people. That is ridiculous.
It's hard.
I think it's probably because Mithi has drive and power, and he stays hungry. He devours.
We actually did not devour. We were kind of fucking starved.
Oh no.
Wait, but did you put in the work? Did you put in the hours?
Yes, and we did take what was ours. I did transfer all the SD files onto my terabyte drive. So
Good to hear.
I love The Rock. Did you guys see The Rock is coming back to Fast and Furious 10?
I did. Well, wait, is he coming? Wait, no, is he coming back, or did Vin Diesel just say, "Please come back"?
Yeah.
Okay, that's even funnier. The fact
it was like a casting call. He's like, "Please come back."
It was fucking Vin Diesel, this big giant actor who is basically the face of these fucking movies, being like, be like, "Hey, here's my fan cast. Hey, here's my fan pitch for the movie that I'm gonna be in. Here's Fanboy pre-writes Fast and Furious 10."
Did you see the picture he posted?
It's so weird. It's so weird. I didn't think it was The Rock. I thought it was somebody else.
It looks so.
It's so funny.
You know Tyler 1, the gamer who like fucking screams and shit, and he plays League of Legends. He looks like Tyler 1 with the fucking tank top and bald head, and he looks so short but like wide. It's just so. They look like they're about to fucking make out. It's beautiful. But yeah, I'm so excited for Fast and Furious 10. Those movies, are actually, I don't enjoy those movies, but do we want to talk about it?
Is this a real poster?
Do we want to talk about
Is this real?
Yes, that's real.
Those,
that's real.
okay.
This looks fake as shit. That looks fake as hell. That looks like a fucking screenshot from the trailer that somebody
news. This is live news on the Fanboy Talk podcast for real. Us. This happened just
Breaking
now.
News.
It posted
just now,
like 5
and this podcast
ago.
isn't gonna come out for like 2 days. Since
just now, we got a Spider-Man No Way Home poster, which means maybe we'll get a trailer soon too.
I love that poster. That's cool.
It is a nice. I think it's fake because it looks like a Boss Logic thing of like.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of cool.
It's a good poster.
It's not built like it's not built like an MCU poster, you know.
It's
just a nice poster.
I
wish the suit wasn't fucking ugly as shit. I wish it was a fucking regular Spider-Man suit instead of the worst suit in Spider-Man PS4. Yeah, I said
This should have been our first look at the integrated suit or whatever.
That would have been cool.
Like, I don't love that suit, but like at least we would have seen it.
Do you think that the reason that they're showing everything from this bridge is because that's when Toby and Andrew show up at the end, like, and so everything post bridge has them in it?
That's what all.
I think so. That's what I'm thinking, because that's why we've seen shots that would clearly be after that, but it's been like singles of Tom Holland, and all that, and that's like
and also like really quick shots too. Yeah,
of him like running and shit. Yeah. If you have Molina there, why wouldn't you have Toby?
Please, let's call him Alfred. We're all friends here.
Alf.
Yeah, we're friends.
Al.
Yeah. Al. If you have
Big
good old
Al.
Al there, why
Was
wouldn't
it
you have
you that
Toad
was
Dog?
telling? Wait, was it? Yeah, I was talking with you about it, where it was like the pitch for the Batman movie where Alfred was Big Al, right?
Oh yeah, I unironically.
That would be cool. That'd be fun. Yeah.
I want to
Played
make
by
that movie.
Alfred Molina.
If I do a Batman movie, I am going to do the Darren Aronofsky like, original pitch of like Batman just loses his fortune and becomes a broke bitch on the streets. I want that so badly. Because then
This is Oliver Queen.
Yeah, does he become a broke bitch on the streets?
Yeah, doesn't he like lose his whole fortune like 6 times?
That's his whole thing.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
Yeah,
why he's.
I
That's
know.
why. That's why Oliver is the only good billionaire, because he fucking keeps losing his money.
Yeah.
Because he keeps giving
That
it
makes
away.
sense. Yeah. But yeah,
King
the poster
shit.
that they release, or I'm gonna shut up about Green Arrow because that's not relevant. Green Arrow is an irrelevant character.
Hey, go fuck
Fuck
yourself. Yeah, you're right.
The poster feature is sand. It features lightning.
Where's the sand?
Dune!
Where's the
Doc Ock.
Yo,
sand?
Dune! I knew
Dune?
Spider-Man was
Dune?
in Dune.
Where
Spider-Man
the fuck is the
Dune.
sand? What are you talking about?
There's like little sand
Where's sand?
tornado things in the background.
Yeah, there's a
Dust.
tornado.
That's
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 sand.
sand.
That's just the shit that I
Everyone's-
put on all my fucking YouTube wallpaper, my YouTube thumbnails. That's just the
Yeah.
that's just the
There's
layer
also-
that I have.
If you
They
zoom
just
in,
upped up the opacity on there.
because that's sand.
if you
clearly.
zoom in, Green Goblin is comically just on a glider in the background. It's so comically
Oh my God, you're
like,
right.
just hidden.
Oh my God, wait,
It's
oh,
so
yeah.
funny. It looks
Wait,
so
is that
funny.
the-
late, Spider-Man.
Oh, is that a
funny.
mask?
We
Oh, he got a
have
mask.
That is a mask. That is a mask. He
Okay, well
does
that's
have a
good to
mask.
know. Thank fucking
Like,
God
he-
he has a mask.
Yeah. And also, you know what's the last movie
That's
to
a
feature Green Arrow?
terrible.
Yeah. You know what's the last movie to feature Green Goblin comically in the background of a poster like
Spider-Man
this?
2. I was
The
just
Amazing
about to say they
Spider-Man
did the
2.
exact same thing. Why is
And
he?
Jay and I,
You
we're
would
gonna have a
think.
hell of a time.
You would think. You would think that Green Goblin and Defoe and that design and everything is a big enough sell, like for
Yeah,
casual
that you
people, that
would
they would
do
put
it-
that front and center.
Why aren't they doing? This is.
I think it was because Doc Ock was more like marketable back at the time, right? He was more of like that horror villain that kids love. I mean, no,
Maybe-
didn't
is
love.
this-
But,
maybe
like
this is-
goblins scared kids, but like Doc Ock was cool to kids.
But like when you think about like fucking Willem Dafoe Green Goblin, perfect. I don't know. Maybe that's just because I love Spider-Man 1 so much, and I put my fucking ranking up. I finally ranked all the Spider-Man movies.
oh,
And Spider-Man
Yeah,
Twitter.
yeah, I
Spider-Man
saw
Twitter
that.
was
I saw you did
actually
that.
relatively reasonable with me, and I was very impressed. I'm very proud of you. They've evolved
Yeah.
so much. But I don't know. I feel like Dafoe Willem, my boy Willem, is more iconic than Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, because it's like we feel it. I don't know. Just because maybe it's just because I like the Green Goblin character, and I like Doc Ock and stuff. But I've always felt like. I don't know, I feel like when if you had to only pick one Raimi villain to ever come back, you would pick you would pick Green Goblin. You know?
yes.
Like he's
Because
just
that's-
so fucking iconic.
and
and
I
so
think
it's
that's
maybe-
also because
There might
it's
be
because
two
of the memes too. Think
Yeah.
about it. It is kind of because of the memes.
Also
too,
kind
because
of yeah.
because normal audiences reach that faster
Yeah,
than
the
they
big
reach.
booty shot. But maybe this
Exactly.
is this the only poster that came out today? I'm assuming.
Yes.
Because
everyone
what would
is
be
just
kind of
reading
fucking
this.
rad, what would be really fucking cool, is if there's another poster that's Green Goblin focused,
Yeah.
with like the integrated suit or with the black and gold suit or something.
I think we have to be getting like at this point. I expect them to release like a different type of poster each week.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't think each
'Cause,
week.
like,
Well, come on, the movie's
I mean,
not coming
every
out
2
till
weeks.
fucking.
Each week.
Okay, yeah, every
The
2
movie,
weeks.
the movie
maybe,
is
I guess.
6 weeks away still. They're not gonna have 8
Yeah.
posters.
I think they'll have like 3 posters. I think it's because it's a third movie. One,
Yeah.
but the reason I said each week is because there's like 3 members of the Sinister Six, or
Yeah, there are 3 members of the Sinister Six.
There's
Three,
3 members of the
famously,
Sinister
that
Six.
is the most important part of that team. Is that there's
I'm
only
doing
3
a
members.
fucking Dana
It's
analytics
50%
They're
people.
actually just
Yeah.
called the
Yeah.
Evil Three, and that's
The evil,
it.
the three
Evil
evil.
three. the
The Evil Three.
the terrifying 3. There we go.
Also, they did what I wished. I didn't like. It's all but confirmed that they're going to be in the film, but I really didn't want.
There we go.
Sorry, I really didn't want Toby
don't-
and
you don't-
Andrew to be on the poster.
Yeah, I assume we're gonna have to see them before the movie
I don't
comes
fucking.
out.
I was thinking about this. What if only and I'll talk about this in the video, and Mithi, I want to talk with you about that video after this and stuff. And Christian, you can be in the convo as well. But like, what if Toby isn't actually as big of a role as people think he is? Because we've only seen because okay, I don't know, maybe because I'm not following the leaks and shit. The things that were like so selling to me about the fact that the other two Spider-Men were in it were the Andrew picture, which, you know, that seems pretty fucking real, and then the toy of Tobey. And then the toy turned out to be fake, you know? So what if Tobey actually isn't like a big role? And what if he is just fucking him, you know, he is what I don't want to spoil my video and shit.
You have to think of how much time they probably had him on set.
Yeah. You know? Because it's like, I don't think he's going to be a lead. I don't think he's going to be this. I don't think it's going to be Spider-Man 4. I think he might actually just get the one scene that I kind of want from him. You know, and that would make that would fully satisfy me. That would give room for the movie to be itself, give room for Tom to be Tom, and then fucking throw in, you'd have space for Miles, you'd have space for Gwen and shit.
I kind of want Andrew or Tobey just to be like sort of the Peter B. Parker of the movie. Where
yeah, I think that's what I could see that.
They're just like a leading, like a supporting lead, I think.
I don't even want Tobey to be that big. I want Tobey to be fucking fourth Doctor in the Doctor Who 50th anniversary, which I don't know if you watched Doctor Who. Like literally, and I'll show you this when we talk about the video. I literally just want a single scene of them talking. You know, I don't want fucking Tobey to suit up. I don't want Tobey to even say that he's Spider-Man. I want Tobey to just be in the movie, be emotional, and just fucking dip. Because I don't fucking trust these writers. I don't trust them to do him justice at all.
But then my thing is, what if he shows up for one bit, but it's still like a comedy scene?
Or they kill him or some shit. They would. Yeah. They could. It's very likely.
I could see them like doing a thing where it's, this would be rude, and I would not like this.
What if he's the Chris Pine where he dies in it, like at the start of
Spider-Man? Oh god, you might be right. Oh jeez.
What if they do a thing? Because knowing these writers...
Also, I thought you were talking about like Star Trek and shit. I was like, that could be interesting. making him Chris Pine in general.
I'm assuming
Captain Kirk.
They made this movie after Endgame, and they watched the success of Endgame, and I feel like a lot of the success of Endgame has like changed the way they made this movie. You know?
Yeah, they're trying. I mean, and whether it be Sony or whether it be Marvel, someone is trying to make this the end game of Spider-Man. You know,
John Watts
all of the movies are coming together. All the villains that you've known, all the fast 20 fucking years of Spider-Man movies are finally gonna quote unquote matter because they come together into one thing. Even though movies matter just by being fucking movies, you know.
And what because with Endgame, it was structured in a way that the first act was somber. It was kind of serious. You had some fun moments, but we lingered on these characters being these characters. And the second act, I almost burped. The second act, as
burp
much
right
as
into the mic, please do.
All right, I'll do that next time. The second act, although it was still serious, it was much more comedically involved.
Yeah, it was the time heist. It was fucking Paul Rudd.
It's a time heist. Yeah, they're having fun. They're doing Back to the Future shit. You know, it's very Back to the Future-esque. And like, I don't know. I wonder if all the Spider-Verse stuff is just gonna be like fun scenes.
Oh, I was gonna say,
we're in the Raimi-verse now.
I actually think the opposite. What if like, because then Endgame goes and makes the third act just like big epic fan servicey moment of fucking coming through portals and in a great fucking battle and you know with no real emotional weight to any of it, unless if you've seen all the movies and shit. But like. Yeah. Like what if that's what they end up doing? It is just a final battle thing, and it's not. And Tobey just went in to do some fucking ADR voice lines, and he's a CGI suit swinging around. Like I don't know if that'd be better or worse. I think it'd be the most like disappointing use. It would be
disappointing because even if it's like bad, at least there would be some character work on the other side. Whereas this would be something without any character work.
Yeah, if they don't try with these characters, then it's gonna be fucking pointless.
I imagine it might be something like the fucking Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover. Not the same, but like, you know how they just randomly show other characters as like, oh my god, look, the multiverse.
Yeah, maybe
as a thing.
Maybe
there's the multiverse thing.
Christian, you don't have to raise your hand. You can just talk.
I know. I'm like, I don't want to interrupt anyone.
But yeah, I don't know. They could do something with it. I don't fucking know.
I don't even fucking know. Sorry. Yeah, you go, Christian.
Yeah.
I was gonna say with Andrew Garfield's involvement. And I love the TASM movies, but for the most part, the writing in them was not well received.
Yeah.
To the point where anything that they do in No Way Home could actually just be a step up. Meaning that if they give him the supporting lead,
yeah,
they can't really do much worse to him.
It's a lot harder to fuck up Andrew because Andrew was left at a point of like, oh, we just left Hazm too, which like, you know, don't tell Hassan. Not a great movie. Even though I quite liked Hazm too, and I put it as second worst Spider-Man movie because I like it more than I used to. But like, yeah, it's a lot harder to fuck up Andrew, I think, because we only had 2 movies with Andrew, and like we had 2 basically incomplete movies. Whereas Tobey is like the Raimi movies are so very much Raimi's movies, from the writing to directing to, you know, everything about it. And so it's like to give those characters to fucking, not to say John Watts, because I like John Watts as a director. He's a talented guy and he makes good shit. I just don't like these movies. But to give him to, you know, to any other director, even if it was fucking Martin Scorsese, I just wouldn't trust them. I wouldn't trust Marty to handle Tobey. You know, let alone the writers of Ant-Man and the Wasp, let alone, you know, that stuff. So it's, I could see, and we'll talk about this after the podcast so I can get content for my fucking video and shit. I could very well see Andrew being the Peter B. Parker, maybe fucking Miles and Gwen actually filling that second supporting role, you know, and then Tobey being a minor cameo. More in the line of like Tom Welling in Crisis or something, which I think would give more space. If I get a
scene like that with Tobey, I'd be very happy.
I'd be very satisfied.
Like yeah.
Which, granted, it's actually really funny because that scene with Tom Welling isn't great. That's a kind of a fucked up scene if you're a Smallville fan. That he just gave up his powers. It's pretty dumb. But like in terms of like his role in the story, it worked really well. Because it just existed to be like, hey, okay, here's an emotional scene, and you know, you get closure on the character, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
And I think, and you've read the script that I'll do in the video, and I'll show Christian it before, but I don't know. I really hope they don't fuck up these characters and shit.
Yeah, I'm afraid they probably will at some point.
Yeah, they probably will.
Do you think this is are we only going to see Tobey and Andrew in Spider-Man No Way Home?
That's what I really hope not. What if
they're in Multiverse of Madness?
Maybe.
There's rumors of that.
That'd be weird though, to put them in I don't know. Sorry, I think I misunderstood your question. But like, if I said this on Twitter a long time ago and I got like shit on for it. If this movie is just 3 Peter Parkers, that's really fucking lame. There's like 1 million people that are Spider-Man in the whole multiverse. And that's the whole point. That's the whole point of Spider-Verse. It was that anybody can be Spider-Man and it doesn't have to be white guy Peter Parker. If it's 3 fucking Peter Parkers all wearing red and blue costumes, you know, fucking Tom is red and black, but all wearing variations of the standard classic suit being Peter Parker, it's just like, what is it saying? It's really not saying anything.
Isn't that why some people don't like how Spider-Man the Animated Series did?
And granted, that was in the 90s and shit, so it's like, we've evolved a good amount in how we view it. But even the animated series had Ben Reilly, right? I'm pretty sure. So it's like, so it's like, if this doesn't, granted, this is probably what they're gonna do. It probably is just gonna be Tom, Tobey, and Andrew. But I think it'd be really cool to have fucking make Donald Glover Miles, and older Miles. That'd be rad, just for a movie. Get him that shot. You know, bring Emma Stone back as Spider-Gwen and have an emotional scene between fucking Andrew and Gwen. Like, there's so much more potential, and fucking have Oscar Isaac actually play Miguel on live action, or, you know, some shit like that. As opposed to like cool. Here's just the Spider-Man that you know, because that's just lame. It's just it feels very closed-minded compared to like what Spider-Verse was saying about the character, if that makes sense, you know. But you know, Spider-Man Twitter's not ready to hear
that's the difference, because I feel like Spider-Verse is always going to be more of a character study of who Spider-Man is at his core, which is, it can be anyone. Whereas this film is going to be just sort of the conclusion of that trilogy with Spider-Verse multiverse elements meshed into it. So I think that like
I'm not expecting anything super deep here, but it's just a matter of like, oh my god, all the Spider-Men are here and they're all Peter Parker. It's just, it's lame, you know. And I've been on record. I'm saying fucking Miles is cooler than Peter. Fight me for it. You know,
I mean, Peter Parker is like, even the name Peter Parker compared to just the name Spider-Man. Like, some people know, but like, you can put anyone in that mask and Spider-Man.
I think a Miles Morales movie would, you know, and granted it did with Spider-Verse, but like, I think you don't have to have Peter in a Miles. I don't know. I mean, it fucking did with the game. Like, Spider-Man is Spider-Man, even if it's Miles, even if it's Gwen, even if it's fucking Miguel, or Ben Reilly. Maybe not Ben Reilly. Ben Reilly doesn't sell as well because the clone shit, but, like...
Yeah.
I don't know.
You can make him sell well over time.
You can do it, yeah. He's blonde.
The Kane...
I should like Ben Reilly. I should be into him, but I'm not.
I feel like...
I feel bad for it.
Have they ever merged Ben Reilly and Kane as characters?
I'm gonna expose myself as like a fake Spider-Man fan. I don't know shit about Kane. I don't know jack shit about that dude.
I learned who Kane was because of that Ultimate Spider-Man show, and then I looked into him a little bit. That's it.
That's sad.
And like he's in Spider-Verse stuff, and like he's a big Spider-Verse character. The suit design for Kane though is super cool. That I feel like they would have done more to market him in something. Yeah. You know? Or like I want. Yeah,
it really is kind of just like here's an extra suit in the video games. That's kind of his legacy, which that's pretty fucked.
Yeah. So. I mean, even Ben Reilly was kind of treated like that too recently. A lot of people are like, "Oh my god, I want the hoodie suit."
Yeah, that's
I see people merge together the Ben Reilly suit and the Tom Holland suit, and it's like, I mean, that kind of basically.
I mean, they just that's like my thing. I kind of like, except for the Iron Spider and the stealth suit and the integrated suit, because I don't like the integrated suit. I don't fucking like it. I like pretty much all of Tom's suits and stuff. I love the homemade suit, but most of his suits, aside from the Homecoming one, he's just kind of ripping off other people. Even the Iron Spider suit, he's just fucking. It's just the Ben Reilly Spider-Man suit with the big spider, and the homemade suit is just the Ben Reilly Spider-Man suit with the hoodie, and then the Far From Home suit. It doesn't fully rip it off, but it's got elements of Miles's costume in there with the hands, and I don't like that. That's Miles's thing. That's his hands.
It's like, I feel like I don't think it's necessarily the costume designer's fault per se, but it is them going like, oh, remember all these people like these other designs. Let's
give it to Peter. It's like fuck no.
I will say that I hope that they just destroy the Iron Spider suit.
I hope so.
I hope so. By about 5 movies. I want him to be punched in the face.
The fact that he's still wearing it after like I saw it in Homecoming, and I was like, that is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. And I'm glad he turned it down.
It was like a launch suit for Spider-Man PS4, and they had the trailer for it, and everyone's like, yeah, and I'm like, no.
And it's crazy because it's like the game actually makes it look okay. It's not great. It's still an ugly design, but it's just like impressive looking in the game because
it makes it darker, I think,
because of the reflections and because of everything in it. Like the lights and shit and the way it moves and the way like it sounds when you walk on pavement and shit. Like, but it's still like the worst suit in the game, aside from fucking like some of the DLC ones that I'm not really into.
Yeah.
I think
it is weird that the third Spider-Man movie, the last Spider-Man movie, not the last, in the trilogy,
has him still in the same fucking suit.
In the Iron Spider suit that they showed at the end of Homecoming.
Yeah.
And he said no to that suit.
He said no, that shit's ugly.
To that suit. He was like, no thank you. And now he's wearing it and he's fighting what is probably going to be
Tobey Maguire's Doc Ock. Yeah.
Tobey Maguire's Doc Ock.
The whole thing, the only reason he'd be wearing the Iron Spider suit was because in Infinity War he needed it to get into space. Like he was gonna suffocate, and so
it's one of these things where it's like
get rid of him after.
It's like, and people are gonna comment this and shit. Yeah, it's like logical for him to use the suit because it's like it's got the extra things and the extra arms and shit, you know. But it's the same way that like Batman. It's like logical for Batman to use his most armored suit all the fucking time.
Logical for Batman to only stay in his tank. And never.
And it's like, and it's just like it's a designed thing. It's like the movies aren't fucking real. The characters like. The writers have decided that they want the Iron Spider suit to be the thing. Constantly, you know? It's not a matter of the character Peter Parker talked to the writers and said, "Oh, I want to wear this suit." You know? Yeah. That's not how fucking movies are made, you know?
How do you think Tom Holland feels having to like be like, "Yeah, I'm Spider-Man," and he's like constantly got to be in like one of those CGI suits.
Like, and I'm sure he's fine with it. Like, dude is a team player and shit. And he's obviously down. And he knew what he was signing up for. Like I'm sure he's down for it. But just like, I don't know, just like, it must not be as exciting, you know, to be like, I'm Spider. Yeah, you're right. Like I'm Spider-Man, and then wearing a fucking morph suit that's just like the green screen what Mysterio was wearing at the end of Far From Home.
Yeah.
You know, like that's like Andrew and Toby were there's something about wearing the suit that means something. That's why cosplayers do it. You know. Yeah, it's very weird.
Remember that whole bit in the Amazing Spider-Man 1 when he puts the mask on the kid in the car? I know, like, thematically that's just for the film, but like it also reflects with the actors. That's why they put on the suit and they're like, holy shit, I'm Spider-Man.
Yeah, and like all the interviews with every fucking superhero actor, like whether it be fucking Batman or Superman or Spider-Man, those are the only three superheroes. Like they've always said that it's like the first. No, it's not the Flash. Nobody talks about Flash. Every interview has said like the first time I put on the suit, it was like holy shit. Even if the suit is shitty, even if the suit fucking sucks, even if it's fucking Ezra Miller in the Snyder Flash movie, they're like, yeah, I felt good.
Yeah, and I don't know with the Iron Spider suit, even this poster, like Goblin in the background.
It's so silly. I didn't even notice it. It's goofy.
You know what's I think is weird about that, and they try to do this. They keep trying to release promotional material only for memes. That's what they tried to do with the bird scene.
I don't think it's a poster. I think is different than like an Empire magazine. Still, posters are. I don't think that's. I think that was just bad design. You know, I don't think this is an intentional meme or anything.
Yeah. I want to say, I think that if this is gonna be your Sinister Six movie, just show us all the fucking villains. And
that would at least like get like I don't need to see Toby and Andrew in the posters, but I would like to see, because who the fuck is the Six? Is it fucking?
I don't know.
We can assume it's Ock,
so Doc Ock,
right? Green Goblin, which we know those two.
Yes.
And then Lizard,
Electro. First Electro. People are saying Sandman. Let's just give it to them.
I think Sandman was basically confirmed in that fucking the Empire magazine thing.
Yeah.
Like
because little Sandra or whatever.
Yeah, it looked like his little arm.
Yeah, so that's 4.
It's 4, and then you could say maybe Lizard, and you could say maybe fucking. Hopefully, one of them is one of Tom's villains. That would be nice.
Yeah, but they said there wasn't going to be a sixth villain.
What?
They say that, but they're not. There's going to be
the Sinister 5.
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Oh, I don't know.
They're going to make it a 6. You're going to see someone pop in and be like, ah ha ha.
It's going to be fucking Mysterio.
It's going to be Mysterio. I think it's going to be Mysterio.
But it's weird because it's like they already have like 5 villains in these movies. Yeah. They did a good job. They did a very good job. Like, I don't like the movies, but they did a very good job of setting up the 6 more or less. We have fucking Scorpion and Vulture and Tinkerer and fucking Shocker and Mysterio. Shocker. Now you just need a fucking 6th and you're done.
I know Prowler isn't a Sinister Six villain, but he's also in the MCU as well.
The Sinister Six, for what I wanted in these movies, the Sinister Six should have been Vulture. He doesn't want to, but he's there anyway.
Yeah.
Scorpion as the main guy, kind of in this movie. Mysterio there, but maybe he turns a new leaf at the end of the movie. Although he is very evil. Shocker, they're kind of begrudgingly.
Shocker's a good Tinker, Even Tinker doesn't have to be like a member of the 6. He could just be in the background.
Give him like a machine to fight in the third act. You know.
Yeah.
And then fucking either the Prowler, like as a rat on the inside,
or very easily they could just introduce a new villain to be like fucking Rhino or Kraven. You know, they don't have to always set up everybody. I
thought they were going to use the what's his name, Paul Giamatti Rhino. But I guess that's not happening.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's I don't think he wants to be back. Nobody liked the design. Nobody really was like, oh my god, Paul Giamatti Rhino is so important.
If he's going to watch this and say, oh no, he's confirmed. Why would they bring him back, man?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Paul. No, thank you.
Sorry, Paul.
But I do think I do think the big twist of the movie in the third act, the only one that narratively makes sense, and I have not seen anyone else talk about this. The only thing that narratively makes sense in the course of like what these movies have done is for Mysterio to be behind something.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe he helped open up the multiverse, or maybe he helped do something to like. Because I mean, the only other thing that narratively makes sense, which they're not going to do this because it's all
stupid. A big Ralph Boner. That's what Xavier was saying in the Brownstable video, which I watched.
Yeah, that's the only thing that would make sense, like narratively with the because they set it up in Far From Home to be like.
But I think they already did that with Far From Home. Like Far From Home was also like, I'm from the multiverse. I'm from and then it turned out to be fake. To do that twice in a row, plus the Ralph Boner, plus just all this hype around it, would be weird.
It is very Marvel. they've done it.
What do you
They
think?
could. I don't know. I don't expect that little of them. You know.
Yeah.
I think like, especially because it's like, why the fuck would Jake Gyllenhaal Mysterio know about Alfred Molina and you know, all this stuff? Like, realistically, no.
What do you think he thinks of it when he's like,
Well,
oh yes, the multiverse, and it's all fake, and then he's like, what the fuck, and they're actually like
that would
flying
actually
through
be
portals.
that would be a thing that I'd really like to
would-
see, but I don't know if I would want him to be behind it. We're also wait, fucking Christian,
How would
have you
Agatha
seen,
know
have you
about Evan Peterson?
Never mind. I'm not even gonna ask because I don't know if you've seen it yet.
Seen what, Venom 2?
Yeah. Have you seen it?
No, but I got spoiled for me, so you can talk about it.
Well, never mind then. Well, I don't want to. Well, I feel bad, so I'm not gonna. I feel bad, so I'm not gonna say it. Well, we don't know. We just don't know what. Like, how the fuck is that gonna fit into this?
There was someone else on Twitter who spoiled it with 4 screenshots, done it just for a clout tweet.
I know who it was, and I don't like them. I am in on the drama.
Is it you? Is it you that made the clout tweet?
Honestly, it should have been. Looking at my Twitter, it probably should have been. But yeah, I don't.
Like, how the fuck is that gonna fit in with all this shit?
Would they introduce? Do you think they're ever gonna bring back Scorpion? Is he just
I don't know.
gone?
I hope they do.
Mike Commando's just gone.
We were
now?
talking about this. I think we were talking about this when Venom 2 came out. What if fucking? What if the way that they're going to do Venom with Tom Holland is they use Matt Gargan Venom? That would be really lame. But they might do it because that's the only version of Venom. That's
At
the
least
only like
that would be a
character
story
that has
with
like
drama.
Yeah.
At least that would be a story with some kind of.
Because he does hate Spider-Man.
What
universe,
if?
You know?
What if Flash Thompson gets the symbiote and it's like Agent Venom in the Sinister Six?
Is that yeah?
I could see that as a post-credit scene for the 4th movie.
Maybe.
Like Flash is like sitting in his room, and then I mean I'd be okay with that because at least Tony Revolori gets a career, and I like.
We do love Tony.
It's funny how he's much better in like any other film that isn't an MCU film.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Also, if you
honestly,
look at the
same
arms,
with Zendaya. Like Zendaya, very talented actress, and then they give her like, fucking. I like Zendaya as an actress. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, if you look at the arms in the poster, because I have it full screened and good.
They red and gold.
No, but they're gold. They're gold.
I think that's just tint on metal. I think that's a.
Perhaps
it looks like it's probably just a reflection. Maybe.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was a reflection, but it's consistently gold, and it's the same color of gold throughout the entire thing. And also, this was all done in Photoshop, so who knows? Maybe they just put it on. But I do think it is some kind of new tech.
I don't think so. No, I don't think with this post. I think I do think that they're gonna do that with the thing, the screenshot or the screenshot. Yeah, with like I do think
I got clout with. Yeah.
I was thinking about that more. I am actually very open to the idea that Doc Ock like sucks away the nanites from the Iron Spider suit.
That's
because that would mean he would have to not use the Iron Spider suit, and we wouldn't have to fucking see it. You know.
Yeah. And that's why he doesn't have the arms here.
Yeah.
Then it would be Spider-Man versus Iron Man. Yay!
Yay!
Spider-Man versus billionaires.
Doc Ock picks up. What if this movie ends with Doc Ock superior Spider-Man?
I was literally just about to say that. Like that would. I don't think so, but they might because they could be trying to build to Miles. You know, they could be pulling an Ultimate where like Peter dies when he's like 15, and then Miles comes replaces him. They could mix the Ultimate death with Superior Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That would be really weird, and I don't think they've earned that. But they also haven't really earned anything in these movies. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah,
they've earned like 3 things max. Yeah. They didn't earn Aunt May. They didn't earn the identity reveal. Like I've always felt like they're trying to rush things. So that very well could, and maybe they'll rush Parker Industries too.
I think I said at some point like 2 years ago, I was like, they're going to do Parker Industries. That's what the 3rd movie is going to end with. Parker Industries.
I've noticed, I noticed this and I know you like Ultimate Spider-Man, and that's fine. You're obviously allowed to. The second Disney touched Spider-Man, the second they got their hands on him, is when they made him Avenger. Is when all the Parker Industries stuff started happening. All the the fucking. I agree. I think Parker Industries is going to happen. And the fucking the Avengers campus shit at Disneyland is really scaring me.
Industries.
It's really fucking scary.
They're gonna call it Web Industries. They're gonna call it Web Industries.
Have you, Christian? Have you seen this shit?
What, the Avengers campus?
Yeah. So
Avengers campus.
And also so I can add context for people who don't know, because I forgot we have an audience right now.
I've only seen a bit of it where he's like swinging and it's like
that's a cool part. The voiceover's really annoying, but the animatronics is really impressive, and that's very cool.
Have you been?
No, I can't fucking afford that shit.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Please look at me.
I don't know.
I've got George Costanza in my background. I can't afford anything. But the Spider-Man ride is like one of those like fucking shoot 'em up gallery things. And the pre-ride show that they use to give like context and like story to it and stuff like they do for theme parks and shit is Tom Holland as Peter Parker is like he started a fucking web industries, and it stands like Worldwide Engineering Builder or some fucking some acronym.
World Engineering Brigade.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. And he started this company, and it's a tech company, and it feels very Parker Industries, and like it just from the second I've seen that, and they're really going hard in it. Like the whole fucking building is like has web all like the logo all over it. There's merch for Web Industries, like. It's really giving me vibes of, oh fuck, they might be just making that the way that they do with Peter. Not a full Parker Industries, but like they might make him a business owner.
Ride before the movie comes out.
I don't know.
That's the one thing I don't understand.
But they've also like done, I don't know. They've done weird shit before. Yeah. I can't think of it, but they've done weird shit. I don't know. It's probably nothing. I'm probably reading into it. The ride goes
so hard.
But it's like
if the ride goes so hard. Why would they?
It's just so like they created this whole narrative. If it isn't in the movie, if that's not the direction they go, which again they might not, the ending of Venom makes me kind of think that they won't, just with the way that the events were unfolding in that post-credit scene.
If that happens, I will be rooting for Venom. I think a lot of us will be rooting for Venom.
I think so too.
Whenever that happens.
But like fuck, what was I gonna say? If this isn't in the movie, if they don't do the Web Industries, Parker Industries, whatever, if they don't do that, then they created the Imagineers, the Disneyland, Disney World people. They created this whole narrative, this whole fucking piece of lore for the MCU, and this whole idea for what? Why did they make it so complicated? Because the ride literally is just go around in a cart and shoot webs.
This is a Toy Story ride, right?
Yeah, it's literally. And granted, there's some kind of cool hand tracking stuff with it too. Like it's impressive from a technical lens, whatever. Not as cool as like a real ride, but like whatever. I get it. They don't have a ton of space. But it's like, why would they make that story for what is basically a super simple concept in a ride of just going around and shooting webs? So that makes me feel like that kind of is the only option, and I'm scared, and I don't like that.
What if they're doing that just to slap Scorsese?
They might. That'd be really fucking funny. Or they're just doing it to slap me and Alex in the face.
Yeah, just be like, ha, fuck you.
Do you think the writers and John Watts have seen the videos and have seen the criticism?
They have seen High Top's video. They have definitely at some point seen
And do you
Spider-Man
think what? Because I had this
movie.
fear back before like anything was confirmed and shit. What if they used Toby and Andrew as a way to say that Tom is better than Toby and Andrew? And like a big slap in the face to people that don't like this versions of the movies.
The whole Toby is a good Peter, Andrew is a good Spider-Man.
Well, what if they say that directly in your face? Yeah.
I think it's gonna be Ned. He's gonna be sitting there. He's gonna be like,
God.
You seem like a good Peter Parker.
Oh my God.
But you seem like a good Spider-Man. But oh my God, buddy Peter, you're the best of both worlds. Go kill him. That's what he's gonna say.
I've never met a real wizard before. Can I try the cape? Annoyed face. That's not a real trailer. That's not gonna happen. That's not real. But that is so believable.
The moment
Marvel
that is
humor.
real, because we're gonna do some kind of fucking reacts to it or something like that.
What if it comes out while we're doing a podcast? If that moment happens
in the trailer, I'm just gonna take off my headphones. And
I swear to God,
it's gonna be so amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Thank you, Spider-Man Twitter, for releasing this poster exactly at 9 p.m. Central Time, so that we have something to react to, I guess. Because I didn't. We talked about Spider-Man for an hour, that's awesome.
That's what we do.
Is it weird that it's like when's it come out? Like exactly
a month and 11 days. Yeah, 41 days.
Yep.
So surreal.
Speaking of trailers though, and Spider-Man movies, we forgot to talk about Morbius.
Yo,
I did not even. I completely forgot that came out.
I also forgot that came out. But I'm in a real. Can I be like super honest? I actually am very excited for it. I think it looks really cool.
Same. Okay, now you know how I feel about Venom. Okay, yeah. It's like it's one of those movies that it's probably going to be absolute garbage, but like I'm excited to go in and lower my standards and just have fun with it.
My favorite fucking thing about the trailer is everybody's like shitting themselves trying to place it in a universe. everybody's like, what the fuck? What? There's the Raimi suit, and then there's the Chasm building, and then there's the Venom Daily Bugle, but then there's Michael Keaton. And it's like, it's a movie on its own, doing its own fucking thing. And it's like gaslighting all the Spider-Man fans into thinking it's part of their favorite universe. And I fucking love that. Because it's just like,
clip out
it's not a part of a fucking TV show.
Like,
wait, when does it release? Do we know when
January
next
year? I think.
So do you think that because remember we had like 2 years of radio silence.
Yeah.
So do you think that maybe in some way it might actually be tied to No Way Home?
That's what other people have been saying, is maybe No Way Home is going to combine all those Spider-Man universes, which would be really fucking dumb. I'm just going to say, I don't think that would be good at all. But that's the other like theory and shit. But I would really rather this just be, no, this is just a movie. And it's like, it's not part of your fucking TV show. It doesn't have to be part of a TV show to have value. Like fucking Daredevil 2002 has some references, I'm sure, you know? But it's like, is it part of the universe? Fine. Whatever. Who cares?
Same with
it's still
Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Fantastic Four had Hugh Jackman in it in a deleted scene.
Yeah.
And fucking same with Spider-Man, same with the original Spider-Man. It's like...
And in the actual movie, there's like magazines that have something to do with it's either the Hero Registration Act or it's an X-Men thing, but they got something. I remember it's like a split frame on a magazine.
I think that's how kind of people are with Spectacular Spider-Man and EMH, right? They're like, oh yeah, it takes place in the same thing.
Yeah, might as well, because who cares?
Yeah,
because it's like,
just forget that Drake Campagna voice your character, and then just go from there. But yeah, I mean, Morbius looks, because that trailer was just.
It's a trailer. It's a regular trailer. It's a very standard trailer.
It looks like a very standard trailer. I'm gonna watch it. It's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be Venom 1 quality, I think, just without like as much fun.
The only reason I think I'm gonna like the Venom movies more than this is because like Tom Hardy in Venom is like it's a comical performance to watch.
Yeah, Jared Leto's gonna be trying hard to be serious.
Yeah, and he's gonna like go for the fucking like acting, and I'm like, I don't want to see.
Yeah, and Jared Leto in general is always red flag. Exactly. We don't need him.
Tom Hardy was fun to watch because he probably, because obviously there was a lot of reshoots with the first Venom, so he probably saw like, okay, this is gonna be a bit of a garbage fire, so I may as well just have fun with it. And it's just him just like being out of his mind for like an hour and a half.
And
by the way, Venom 1 has 20 minutes of credits, which no one talks about.
I didn't even notice that.
It is the funniest thing ever.
Why?
The movie finishes and then you sit there for another 20 minutes.
It's just the lyrics of the Eminem song. It's because the Eminem song's so long. It's 20 minutes long.
It's the genius video of the Eminem.
So when I said I got that adrenaline momentum, I really meant that it's about drive and it's about power.
When I made the comparison to 9/11, let me walk you through what I was thinking.
When I said the R slur, this is what I meant.
Oh my god.
Yeah, nobody talks about that. He fucking straight up just says the R word in that, and it sucks. And it's not fun. I've been listening to that song on loop, and every time it happens, I'm like, oh, god damn it, Marshall, you fucking asshole.
But then he says Venom, and you get back.
And then he says, also, Eddie Brock is you, and I'm the suit.
So hang on, let me quickly look this up.
No, yeah, he says it. I know exactly what I know. Listen to me, motherfucker. I know every fucking word to that fucking song now. I started October knowing nothing, and then I listened to it nonstop. 24 hours a day for 31 days, and now I can quote it from memory.
Your Christmas playlist should just be.
But I'm not gonna do it for free. I need somebody to pay me to do it. $1,000 a month on Patreon. It's gonna happen.
I think.
Wow, they're different people.
You need.
Oh wow.
What are you doing?
Find it.
No. Okay. So I thought that. Look, Fantastic Four was on TV a couple days ago, the 2005 one, so I was watching it, and the Thing's wife in it, who leaves him, I thought that was the same actress from Venom, but it's not, and I was looking it up because they look like identical. Turns out that the actress from that Fantastic Four movie is...
Michelle Williams,
no,
right?
Yeah. The love interest.
Great Showman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's not the case, but turns out that the
Christian just said all white women look the same. Can you believe it?
Yeah,
no, I didn't say that. All right, I'm gonna get cancelled. God damn it.
He does listen to Mariah Carey.
Apparently, yes. Hey, but it's not by choice. All right, it's where I work. It's 24/7, and I'm just.
That's got to be so annoying now, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Because people were tweeting about it, but yeah. I mean, hey, it's time, but still.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's fucking November still. I swear, it's Seinfeld time.
Listen,
it's
last
Seinfeld
year I would
day.
have agreed with you because people were depressed and there was an election going on. This year,
I'm still depressed. Am I not allowed to be depressed? Is it not allowed?
No, you're not. It's time for everyone to be happy.
Classic
if you're not happy,
Mithi.
fake it.
Classic Mithi.
Everyone be happy. What did Jake Paul say in that one fucking tweet where he was like, if you're depressed, just get over yourself?
So true. So, oh my God, Jake, what a fucking great guy, dude.
He's so awesome.
Such good advice. So why don't I think of that?
So much.
Why don't I think of that?
My favorite Jake Paul moment was when he got the tattoo across his face or whatever the fuck. That's my favorite Jake Paul moment.
Paul's the kind of guy that would say, like, you know, it's scientifically proven that if you force yourself to smile, you'll be happier. So just do that. Great fucking advice. Thank you so much. Sorry, I got that advice. I got that advice a lot when I was in high school, and it was never helpful. It was the worst.
Really?
Yeah.
That's gotta be
from like adults too, from like fucking counselors and shit.
Watch one of the Paul brothers be like fucking cameo in the Spider-Man movie.
Please. I mean, we saw the leaked suit. We saw the leaked Goblin suit. It looks like Jake Paul.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that whole thing. Jesus, I do. You said they're gonna give him a mask. I think they're gonna.
I mean, he literally has it. He's wearing a mask in the fucking poster. So thank God, because if he didn't have a mask and he was just Willem Dafoe to be lame as fuck, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm gonna go on record, and I'll talk about this tomorrow when I do my commentary. I really love the Green Goblin look in Raimi 1. I think it looks really good. It's like I don't like from the bottom, from the neck down, like all being green. Whatever, it's kind of lame. Like if he needs a scarf, he needs fucking some extra like colors and shit. But the mask, for what it is and for what it has to do, works really fucking well. It works way too well.
Because you can see him.
It's just it's just Willem Dafoe's eyes. It's just the eyes come up, and he does such a good performance. You know, obviously the fucking the suit, the test mask that they did with like the crazy emotes, practical shit, crazy, really cool, really impressive. But you also don't get Willem Dafoe's eyes. You don't get
why would you hire him if you don't?
He literally is a dude that looks like a goblin already. Why wouldn't you use him?
Yeah. I mean that's why even in the final fight of the movie he takes off the mask.
Yeah, because he's just and that's just
you need to see him.
That's just a matter of emotions and shit. So Spider-Man always takes his mask off at the end of every fight. Even the movies where he has the emoting eyes, he has to take the mask off.
Even in this, I think he's gonna take his mask off. Of course, because there was that one Empire behind the scenes pic where his face was all bloody, and I was like, okay, that's the ending shot.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, and the best thing about the Raimi Goblin suit was that in so many of the shots in the first one, and people count it as a movie mistake. It is, but I think it adds a bit of charm. Where you see the close up of Goblin's face, and there'll be like an ADR of Willem Dafoe saying something, but you can see his mouth in the actual mask just not moving. I love it. It's fun. It's so goofy.
Movie. I love that movie so fucking much, man. It's so fucking good. It's my favorite fucking movie.
I have it lower on my list because I'm a bitch and I just didn't.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, your opinion's objectively wrong.
My opinions on movies. Which, you know what you're saying about the eyes, by the way? I think they should have done that with Far From Home with the stealth suit.
Oh, cool.
He doesn't have the reflective eyes.
It doesn't like fucking flip down and shit. It's
when like Ned is about to die, he's like, "Oh my God, please, Ned, don't die!" Like, and you actually see Tom Holland.
Ned was about to die in Far From Home. What?
Well, the lava. Remember, the lava was gonna.
I forgot.
Feel it because it's a comedy movie, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot that Ned was ever in danger. I forgot anybody was ever had any risk in that movie whatsoever.
I forgot that Spider-Man movies were supposed to have drama. Yeah.
Listen, hey, you said it, not me.
hey, watch my Spider-Man Homecoming video. All right, speaking of my shitty movie opinions, do we want to get into Eternals?
Yeah, can I pee first?
Yes, go pee.
Okay, cool.
And actually.
All right, I'll be right back.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm just gonna cut the time shit. Don't worry about clapping and shit.
Okay. Christian, you ready to get your ass pummeled? This is uncomfortable staring at his underwear. I think we needed Troy there so we can cover that up, but now we don't have Troy there.
You know, you said that was the uncomfortable part of the conversation, as
But
if
the
you
fact is
didn't
that I'm
just.
here.
No, you just said, "Are you ready to get your ass pummeled?"
Oh. Yeah, I said that. Which this is still recording, which is great. Yeah, are you ready
Mephisto is in the No Way Home poster.
Oh, because you can see the devil thing in the corner? Yeah, fuck you. That's just objects. Those are just objects. Fuck anyone who says that's anything else. I can now feel good about not retweeting. Bro, I was about to not lose money because it was a lie anyway about that tweet. That tweet has almost 100 likes and 44 retweets. So funny.
Cute. I hate how people are so starved for No Way Home attention. And there's people like, and then whenever you and I put up shit from like projects that we're working on, everyone's just blinders on. Every time there's No Way Home, leaks. I need to know this.
Some of my stuff some of my like shots that I post get some clout. When I post a trailer, I think that's gonna get a good amount of clout, which I might work on editing that tonight. But yeah, no, it's I feel weird about it, but like, hey, it's Twitter. I made one tweet about fucking Superman and Lois that got like 20 likes, which was kind of fun. But hey,
what was that? Today?
No, it was like 2 days ago, I think. Yeah. Oh. I haven't tweeted like a lot today. I tweeted like, how many things did I tweet today? I tweeted a couple things on my phone. Yeah, I only like retweeted CJ's thing. Tweeted like a thing about Dwayne The Rock Johnson. That was it. Yeah, I didn't tweet that much today, surprisingly.
Yeah, no, that Troy guy is terrible. Oh shit. Hey
Tell
Troy.
me about it. Tell me about it. All right.
We were talking about how you are so cool. He's so cool.
He's so cool.
He's
oh
so
yeah,
cool.
we didn't even talk about Chris Pratt.
We did not talk about Chris Pratt. Are we still recording?
Yeah, we're still recording.
Anyway.
Are you still recording stuff, Christian?
Are you still recording?
I'm still recording.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we can get into Eternals now if you want.
Okay, here we go.
It's a seamless edit right there, by the way. Perfect.
That was transition.
Seamless.
Here we go. Christian, who actually no, Troy gets to go first.
Because I get to go first. Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
because you had the less striking opinion. We all watch Eternals. No spoilers for now. We'll get into spoilers later.
No spoilers. Okay.
Yeah. So I watched Eternals with Olivia. I legally am unable to get into detail about my viewing experience. But let's just say, not the best viewing experience in terms of getting the movie's quality and shit. For various reasons. Don't you fucking say a word, all of you.
Let's just say,
don't you say a fucking word, Mithi.
That's all I'm gonna say. There is a pandemic going on.
You let down no one.
Yeah, we watched it a couple nights ago. I have essentially zero fucking thoughts on this movie. I get it. I get why people liked it, and I get why people didn't like it. I think it is a very well shot movie. I think Chloe Zhao is the best part of this movie. As a director, she fucking killed it. It's great. But the story didn't do jack shit for me. I did not like really any of the characters. And I feel like the framing of it, this is a very big high concept thing. And that is fine. I'm willing to handle that. But the way that the story frames itself doesn't really lend itself to... it doesn't really work for what it is trying to do, you know? And not to say that it's like the Marvel formula or anything. And I think that the movie is not bad because it's not... I don't even know if I'd say it's bad. I just didn't like it, you know? It's not because of, it's not the MCU. It's not like... People are fucking saying that it's bad because it's not like an MCU movie. That's not why I don't like it. I don't like it because I don't like it, you know? But yeah, I just don't have any fucking shit to say about it. I don't really remember much about it. It was a very forgettable thing, except for the post-credit scene, which I thought was cool.
It is a long movie. I think
very long movie.
Need to beat that long.
Yeah,
honestly, but it's a long.
I did do a speed run at I think the 2 hour mark
of a movie.
I sprinted as fast as humanly possible to the toilet, peed, and then sprinted back.
Speed running piss, my favorite game.
You pulled a Macari. You fucking...
Yes, I did one like that.
Yeah. Which the way she runs is she just jumps and then she runs.
Oh, that's her name. That's okay. I forgot her name.
Macari. Yeah,
I couldn't.
I kind of like that distinction where it's now, in at least this year especially, we've gotten 2 different speedsters, and they have really different ways of running. Like with the Flash, he's a bit of like almost like an ice skater, because it looks goofy, but like it is actually a technique that's used to build momentum as people run, because the Flash doesn't run in those movies; he like glides, which is cool. It's not really running. He's the
Shadow.
Cool.
So he is the Shadow the Hedgehog to Grant Gustin's Sonic the Hedgehog, is what you're saying.
Essentially,
think about it like that.
Because Shadow the Hedgehog, I don't know if you guys know this, he actually doesn't have super speed. He just has like little skates. He just like he does the same thing. Really, he has little hover boots, which is why he's the best character.
Yes.
Which I guess Makari is more in line with like Snyder's Flash than like Grant Gustin Flash and like Quicksilver, because the way that Makari runs and the way that Quicksilver runs is very, very, very different. It seems, which is that's good.
It's almost like when she's running, she can't quite get like a succinct traction on the ground. Hence why she's like has to keep on bouncing, because if she stops to put one foot in front of the other, she might trip over herself.
Which I don't know if it's a hot take. I like the way Quicksilver runs in that movie. Like the weird like energy thing and stuff.
In Age of Ultron?
In Ultron, yeah.
I'm not into it. I was never. It just felt like.
Looks weird.
I don't know. I was a big speedster guy. I was really into the Flash when that movie came out, and I was just like, this just feels so like there's no like energy to this. You know, it just feels like, okay, he's just moving. He's moving fast, but it's like I don't feel it. Yeah.
I felt like teleportation. I kind of liked that it felt like teleportation.
That's cool. Yeah. No. Yeah. I can make sense.
Because it was like the Flash was just so much
you
more
liked the
kinetic.
speedster because he didn't look like a speedster.
Yeah. Apparently.
I guess. The Flash. I like the Flash too. I think the Flash is probably
the show.
No, never mind. I thought of the show past season 4, and then I thought, never mind, no more.
Listen, all they do is they just reuse the same shot over and over again, and then they blow a fan onto Candace Patton's face, and then she's like, "Oh fuck, now I gotta go do DC Fandom right now and carry the whole fucking event on my back."
Newsflash.
Here's all of the news. Here's all the announcements.
Oh god. But yeah, Eternals, you thought it was mid.
I think I would say I did. I liked it more than Black Widow. Because Black Widow like didn't really do anything for me. This is like, it also didn't do anything for me in the same ways, but at the very least, like I see attempts. I saw what it was trying to do. I saw like the direction, and I saw it did feel fresh, and I really like that. That's a plus. It was just like what the movie actually was just wasn't my thing, and it should have been my thing. It could have very well should have been, and you know. Yeah.
You want me to go, or Christian? Do you want to go?
It doesn't matter, because anything that I say, you're gonna try and nitpick the shit out of. So
yes,
I'm happy to go.
You definitely. That's how we are for sure. That's definitely the kind of people that we are. We love nitpicking other people's opinions.
Technically, your opinion is wrong, and I'm going to point out.
Have you ever read a subway manual? I didn't think so.
Yeah. You know how f-stops work on a train? Yeah. No, here's... Okay, you go first. You go first. Because then you can argue with me, because I want you to be angry at me first. So, Christian, you go.
I promise I won't get angry. You bastard! I gotta say that, like, just off the bat, my favorite thing to see in any movie... Like, the thing that I vibe with the most, and it's like, it's distinct in every movie that I see that has this, is like, just really panoramic shots where the music and the landscape just does the talking. Like, there's no dialogue, but it's just like an establishing shot of what could essentially be nothing, but the music sort of tells you exactly what it wants you to feel. Which, as I'm explaining it, sounds very, like, stock standard, but it's kind of surprising how rare it is, at least in the way that Eternals does it, because I like there are some scenes where it might start or end with dialogue, but the most part is just these shots and just silence, and that's something that I really vibe with. And okay, so earlier this year I went to go watch Nomadland, which was I think what was it, won Best Picture last year.
Yeah.
I never heard of it. I saw that it was in cinemas, and I went with my auntie because I'm like, hey, I may as well see it. And I ended up really liking it, which is weird because it feels like a film that I would normally just fall asleep to, but I really liked it. The thing that stuck out to me in that specifically was, again, that use of silence. Because in that story, it's just about a woman who, I think it was during like a huge recession, so she's living her life in a caravan and she's just traveling. She doesn't have like a purpose or anything, she's just sort of existing, and she's going from place to place, living on the day-to-day, but nothing beyond that. She doesn't really have time for aspirations, because she hasn't got any hope for her life. And I really liked the way the film did that. And so what would feel boring, just to me, it communicated so much, because I was watching it, and without her ever explicitly looking at the camera and saying, you know, I feel like this, it was very simple to see just the desolation of her life. And that's sort of what I felt with Eternals, where you saw these characters who, in a sense, sort of molded the way history shaped out, even though they couldn't interfere. You know, they turned up, they witnessed everything for thousands of years, and they were just these gigantic, like, godlike people. And I really liked that use of, because they can't interfere, because they can't do anything, all they have is each other and their goal, and that is it. And that's sort of like that bit of like that same feeling I got with Nomadland translated exactly here. And I don't know whether it was deliberate. I feel like it would have been deliberate, because obviously same director. But whatever it was, it just worked for me, and that was at the forefront of my mind throughout the whole film. And that's obviously, I'll get into more other stuff, but I want to hear what Mithi has to say.
Counterpoint to all that. We didn't see a flopping schlong during the sex scene. That was so hyped up.
God, I was wrong.
So
I will say, I watched the day after I watched Eternals, I watched Shithouse, or I think it's also called Freshman Year now because they rebranded because the name has shit in it. Which is an indie movie that won.
I thought you were gonna be like, you know, the day after I watched Eternals, after that sex scene, I watched a bunch of porn to see how it's done, because I just found out about sex. It's finally canon now.
It's canon now. God damn it! Fuck you.
And all you people in the fucking comments that are gonna be like, oh, Tony Stark had sex in Iron Man 1. No, he didn't. Tony Stark died a fucking virgin. All right, and that's canon. Yeah, we know that.
He didn't.
Tony Stark died a virgin.
Yeah, he didn't have a kid in Endgame.
No, he made that. Yeah. But that's not how. Wait, what? Sex isn't real.
That's not. That kid's a hologram.
Buffed it. All right.
He cast that kid. He went to a hiring agency and he found that kid.
Yeah. But yeah, I think with Eternals, right? I think Eternals is one of the most unique movies the MCU has made. And I mean that as a really good thing. I mean it kind of in a bad way too. The MCU, like Eternals, Eternals has a cold open, right? Like a lot of movies have a cold open, but Eternals has like kind of what clearly is a cold open with the opening scene where they save the village and shit.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the fucking the Last Airbender style scrolling text of information. Of
like
lore.
that? No.
I thought that's. I was like, is that a cold open? I guess maybe.
Not really. I mean, I don't have much to say about that. It's cool that they did that. It was fine.
It was just weird. It was just like I just felt like there was probably a more efficient way of doing that. Not to get into spoilers. That's literally the first thing in the movie.
They probably did that because it's like that's a lot to cram into an audience who would be unfamiliar with Eternals.
But also, there are methods of getting. I mean, like fucking any form of high fantasy concept has done more. Like, you know, at the very least, it could have been animated or like instead of fucking just making people
like
read.
The Black Panther intro kind of where you like show the thing a little bit more.
There are ways around that.
Which I guess they do that later
text.
in the movie too. With one of the visions, but. No spoilers still. Just the opening like 5 minutes. That is a good scene. That is a good scene. Gemma Chan is just one of my favorite ever actresses ever. She's amazing in Crazy Rich Asians, and I know people don't love her character in this movie. I think she was one of the strongest characters in this entire movie.
People don't like her character?
People are saying she was not a good lead, and I was like, what?
I thought she was a very good lead in the fact that as an actress she's very likable. I didn't know jack shit about the character.
Without getting into spoilers, I think her not being like the ideal leader was like
the point. Yeah,
the
point. No, yeah, that's not an issue.
Beyond that, I wasn't as focused on her leadership. It was more Gemma Chan is just an amazing actress that she can bring like that level of compassion to what is to me kind of a shallow character.
Yeah.
At least that's how I felt about her, and I understand that, but I just think Gemma Chan is so good that I forgive that. My thoughts on Eternals. I gave it a question mark out of 10. I think it's probably settling around a 5 out of 10. This movie does some things visually that I'm like, beautiful. That's how I think. That was not a stammer. That was me purposefully doing that. It was beautiful.
Yeah, sure.
But I don't know. These characters make a lot of my problems really only come with the second half of the movie. I think for the first half of the movie, I'm kind of fine with a couple of things. It is weird how the movie is kind of jumps into the pacing like within the first 30 minutes. It's just going already, and like that's fine. But I think we needed there's a level of restructuring in this movie, with the way that it tells the story. And I don't think they should have restructured that. I think it should have still stayed sequential, just because.
Fully sequential.
Maybe not fully sequential, for the most part sequential. Maybe don't show the one moment that's important, but then other than that, show some of the other moments so that I can spend some time with these characters.
I don't know if I agree with that. Actually, I think
you don't.
I think I'm misunderstanding what you're saying, and it's hard to do that without talking spoilers.
I'm talking about the back and forth.
I like the back and forth a good amount. I thought that was a really because that's the best way to introduce people to this grand, it is a grand idea, people that have been around since the fucking dawn of humanity, essentially, and showing their lives. You can't really go sequentially through that.
Oh, that's what. I
think that was my. If the movie was more of that, I would be really into it. Of just people around human lives and influencing human lives and seeing humanity. That was my favorite part of the movie. It was just the rest of the shit. I was like,
I think the reason maybe I'm thinking that doesn't work as well for me is just because it stops like around the first third of the movie. Like they never do it again. That's after the first third.
Yeah.
And I think because of that, I feel like I'm not as connected with
the structure of the movie is very strange for what this does. Yeah.
And Brian Tyree Henry delivers a pretty good performance in this because I went into this movie thinking about his performance in Godzilla vs. Kong, and I fucking hated Godzilla vs. Kong. I don't think
fun.
Ratio.
It was fun, good, but like fun. The fucking shit with 11 because that's her name now. I'm calling Mary Bobby Brown just 11.
Okay. Mithi's the kind of guy to go into Godzilla vs Kong expecting to get
Godzilla vs Kong fucking sucks because Godzilla lost. That's because King Kong lost. That's bullshit.
King Kong.
Kong for life.
Kong for life. Thank you. I thought you were about to fucking flip on me, and I was like,
you know me. I'm such a hypocrite. I never stay on one side, even if it's the controversial side. I always see criticism and I always jump ship. Billionaires, I love them. Love them. MC Spider-Man, my favorite thing in the world. Arrow? I love that show.
Thank you. Please now delete your old videos and make new videos that have all the opposite opinions.
I'm doing it.
But yeah, I think with this movie takes these grand concepts. I think Zhao and company, they're trying to tell this big, grand story. And I can say this and it will come off as, but it's a Marvel movie, so it's boiling it down. I don't think it's that simple. I don't think the fact that it's a Marvel movie is what's boiling it down. I think just narratively, they're trying to conclude so many concepts in the third act that, I don't know, it just doesn't feel conclusive. And even the ending of this movie isn't really conclusive. And I think an interesting thing to compare it to, which it's not the same. It's most definitely not the same. But you look at something like Dune, that is a very non-concluded movie. No spoilers. That movie doesn't really conclude in a way. But that is because there is a story there left to tell. Whereas I feel like Eternals is trying to end this story that has spanned 7,000 years. This story with these characters has spanned 7,000 years. And it's all concluding in a fucking weekend at Bernie's. And it's like, okay, that's fine, But like, I think them trying to tackle all these huge grand concepts into this small thing doesn't work as well for me. I feel like it's a weird thing. This movie should have been still a movie because Zhao should have directed it. I think Zhao was a good pick for this as well. It should have been a movie, but I wonder if it would have worked better as a show to be able to like at least to stay like if this was a show that was released once every week. I feel like I would have connected with these characters more over a span of time. Whereas this movie is just not enough for me to really get with these characters. The only thing that's getting me likability with these characters is just the fact that the actors are doing a good job. When a character makes a decision in this movies, and specifically one character that makes a decision during the beginning of the third act, I looked at my fucking, because I watched it in a theater, I looked at my theater and I looked around and was like, what? Why is this happening? Why is this happening now? And what is this amounting to? And when this character comes back at a certain moment at the end of the movie, I'm like, why are you still here? This is honestly, if you didn't come back, at least there'd be some dramatic potential for something later. But and I'm trying to dance around spoilers too, but this movie just does a lot of things like right. I think it does do a couple of things right. Bailey kind of talked about on Twitter. This movie is shot very carefully and meticulously, I want to say, where like when characters have moments, they really do have moments. But then there's other stuff that's just like the plot is not as threaded through as I want it to. You know, concepts are introduced and then concepts are forgotten. Concepts with the deviants are introduced and then just not acknowledged at all.
I was so fucking confused by the deviants in this movie. I had no clue what was going on with them. They had zero purpose aside from having a villain to fight, and I feel like that was the weakest part of this movie for sure, for me at least.
Yeah. Yep.
I feel like, and I'm not going to spoil it, but I feel like with the deviants, it could have been a bit more cohesive if they, instead of going the route that they did, it could have just been like the deviants all along were controlled by who the bad guy was, and that would just, and then what they also did at the end with the deviants was a bit weird. I didn't quite like that, but it would have been a bit more cohesive if they just sort of connected the two villains together, I think.
Really? Okay. And I think we should probably get into spoilers soon, just because we're dancing around spoilers a lot.
Yeah, I don't really know how to talk about this movie without talking spoilers because I don't care enough to like
general reviews. We gave them to you. If you want to watch me and Christian bash our heads and fucking beat each other to a pulp, watch the movie because we're gonna talk about spoilers.
Violent.
I am going to stab a knife through your heart, Christian.
Jesus Christ. Okay, this is the guy who makes way too many violent movies. Okay, just tone it down.
Yeah, Mithi, you're getting dangerously close to the reason CJ keeps getting suspended from Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, god damn it. That's right. Shit. I need to say in a video game at the end of everything.
Yeah.
In a video game, I will play Fortnite with you and murder you with my axe that I just got in Fortnite.
You don't murder people while you play Fortnite with them. That's not how that game fucking works. It's teamwork, Mithi.
Fake fan. God fucking damn it. I'll throw even the grenades don't work. Yeah, shit. How would I kill a teammate in Fortnite? That's another podcast. But yeah. 3, 2, 1 spoilers. It doesn't have to be. Fuck. Okay, 3, 2, 1 spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers.
What the fuck was the Kingo shit? What the fuck was the Kingo shit? I'm sorry. I
have a take about Kingo that I will wait. Kingo was Kumail Nanjiani, right? I don't remember the names.
Yes, Kumail Nanjiani.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll wait on that until we get to him. Yeah. Till you're done with your point.
And I'll say one thing too about the Bollywood stuff, because this isn't as spoilery too. It didn't do it for me. I didn't understand what it was trying to. One, not that it needs to be an exact fucking Bollywood thing. I am Tamil. I am from South India, so I'm not necessarily from Bollywood. I'm just grouping in Indian cinema as a whole, right? Because there's differences for sure, but virtually the energy of Indian cinema is the same throughout, that was not a Bollywood musical. That was not in no way it was like a what the fuck? It's like a Bahubali. Even Bahubali is more exciting than this. And Bahubali to me is boring. I am the one Indian that doesn't like Bahubali. The highest grossing movie in India. I don't like it. It's stupid and I don't like it. They should have just done the Mahabharata as a movie. It would have sucked, but at least it would have been more engaging. With this musical number, it was just them moving around in circles. It felt like the guy who choreographed it did not see a Bollywood
I said the same thing to Olivia. It felt so like low energy for what is and like they're because they're like at least the ones I've seen, which haven't been a ton. You know, I don't engage too much in Bollywood media and stuff as much as I like to. Like the shit I've seen has been crazy. In a good way, like fucking wild, crazy choreography, crazy costumes, crazy fucking everything, and this was just felt like fucking Beauty and the Beast, you know?
Yeah, that's
like similar. I totally agree with that.
It's about camera work too, and there was like no it was just like a camera on a tripod, and it's like, bro, I could do that with Dylan. I don't know.
Similarly with Kingo, so okay, I'm seeing a lot of like headlines about like how what's his name? Brian Tyree Henry, is that his name?
Yeah,
I've never like properly learned his name. I need to because I like him as an actor.
I think it's Brian Tyree.
Yeah, he and the actor who plays what's his name? The other guy, the guy that died. Fuck.
Gilgamesh.
That Marvel didn't ask them to like change their bodies and and go on a workout routine and stuff. Why did Kingo then need to be that jacked? Why did Kumail need to? And maybe he didn't. Maybe he wanted to.
Yeah.
But it just that character is not required. He's like he didn't need to be.
I think it's
he just shot lasers.
Because when they gave, I think the original script was like he's like Salman Khan, big, buff, huge guy.
Yeah.
And then in the movie they just kind of because I think the writers were on a different page than the casters.
Yeah, maybe.
The casters cast him as he is like Amir Khan. He is like Shah Rukh Khan. He is like. I'm trying to think of other Indian actors. So some people who are Indian will be like, "Hey, he's Indian." Like he is like a big buff Bollywood action hero kind of thing. But then the writers were like, "Oh, we're casting Kumail Nanjiani. Okay, he's like he's a comedian. He's gonna say the comedian stuff." And it's like, I honestly kind of want him to be in a more serious role, but the movie plays him as such a comedian. And then the decision happens where he's like, this doesn't line up with my beliefs, so I'm leaving.
Yeah, that was weird.
Like, what the fuck is going on here? I haven't heard, and Christian, maybe you can do this. I haven't heard anyone give me the proper, not logic, because I don't want to go full fucking objectivist here, because that's not the concern to me. It's about the character work that doesn't really make sense to me. In that moment, how does that make sense? / how is that meant to be relatable? Like, and I think part of it too is the thing that, and maybe this was more coming from Chloe Zhao and company's side, the writer's side. They're trying to tackle this whole concept, and I don't love Jeremy Jans, but I watched his review and he talked about it and how he's also thought about it, where if we were to go to another planet, right? And change the way that life works in that structure over the course of like 100 years, would we be technically inhibiting the probability of life growing on that planet, in turn just stopping the potential possibility of like millions of people to just emerge because of evolution? But that concept is so grand, and it's such like a crazy thing to talk about, but the movie spends like 5 minutes talking about it for a bit.
Which part specifically are you talking about?
This is at the third act where Icarus lasers the guys and then leaves with Sprite, which that's another whole thing. But then Kingo's just like, it doesn't line up with my beliefs. I don't think we should do this. I think we shouldn't stop the probability that this celestial is going to create so much more life. And then he leaves. And it's like, I thought the whole point of the movie is over the course of all of their experience, except Icarus, over time, they have all gone to the point where they acknowledge human beings as human beings.
Yeah.
And this man is a Bollywood hero, so maybe that's a commentary on him being above that. But it doesn't fit right to me that it was meant to still be a positive moment, because then at the end of the movie, he's like, we all did what we had to do because it was what we believed in.
You're out.
I'm like, yeah, you didn't fucking help.
What I would say there, I've got no defense for that. I actually forgot that he left.
Yeah. I mean, that's what a lot of people said, and I didn't forget because that was such a stupid scene to me that I still remember that. But yeah.
If there was like, and I feel like, there might be like some kind of deleted scene where they might have done something like this. But I mean, I know that if it was my perspective, I could go back and change it. If he has to leave, if he has to not be there in the final battle, I'd have something extra where he is sort of like epitomizes his purpose, where it's like, do I live to save the humans or do I live to fulfill my purpose or something like that? And it's like he chooses to sort of be a bit pacifist because he doesn't want to have that like what's the word, like responsibility. He's just gonna sort of let things however they play out.
Holy shit!
Spider-Man.
Yeah, but I can say that, but that's not the case in the movie. That's not the case.
Yeah,
that's what I do, but it doesn't happen. So I got no defense for that.
Yeah, and I guess all these characters kind of react differently, but even something with Sprite, the whole thing of like, oh, actually she fell in love with Icarus. That's interesting. That's an interesting concept. But then it just kind of becomes an excuse to have someone else join Team Icarus. You know? Like I
didn't realize that happened. I guess I missed that. I guess I missed that Sprite fell in love with it. Wait, what? Oh.
I would argue otherwise. I don't think that was, I think that was part of it, definitely. But I feel like she had a much stronger, that was like, it wasn't as at the forefront. It was subtle, but it was still a huge thing. It was my takeaway from Sprite's character, which was the fact that, because the Eternals, they're made. Wait, we're doing spoilers now, yeah?
Yeah, we're doing spoilers now. Yeah.
Cool.
They're robots.
The Eternals, they're not
robots.
living, breathing people. They can't age. And so Sprite was made as a kid. She can't experience the thing that, like, so she wants to be able to, fall in love with Icarus and spend her life with Icarus. But she can't because she's going to forever be a child. And for me, like, I remember her saying that the reason why she wants this planet destroyed or whatever, because, at the end of each planet, they get their memories wiped, and she doesn't have to go through the pain of continually living, thinking, oh shit, I'm a child, I won't ever be anything more than what people, like, they look at me and they think you're a child, you're nothing more than that, they don't take her seriously, stuff like that. She doesn't get the opportunities that all the others get.
And I think with that, it's weird because I get that they're Eternals. They have lived for 7,000 years, right? Moments like this should still feel so impactful to them. But then in a moment like this where it's like, okay, if we go through with this, the fucking gods of the universe are going to be after us for the rest of our lives. And we probably will die in a matter of seconds. Versus if we don't go through with this, everyone on this entire planet is going to die, and we are going to get basically rebooted like fucking the Fantastic Four in the past 20 years. Like, that is a big thing that happens. And I feel like, I mean, I keep pointing to Kingo, but then even all the other characters, I don't feel the gravitas of that. And even with like Druig's like there and he's like, I'm just going to live my life on the farm or whatever. And I'm like, I feel like he would still have some more reaction. And instead, he says the line where he's like, I'm sorry, you just told me my whole universe is wrong and I'm about to fucking die in 7 days or die in 6 days. I need some time to process this. You don't really see him process it. You just see him leave and then he comes back, right? And then he like helps fight the monsters because the monsters help do the shit. And I feel like the monsters are their excuse of like, here is a moment of like real dramatic potential for something, and then boom, big monsters come in, big fight, huge thing. And it's like, sometimes a big fight is fine, but it's conveniently coming in during points where I need to see more of these characters, right?
I feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like that could have been a studio thing, where they went out and they shot it, and then they're like, because it's a Marvel movie, kids are going to be watching this, they're going to fall asleep during this, let's just remove it, hope that the audience doesn't notice, big monster, big action scene, bang, bang, explosion, move on.
I have weird. I don't know. I feel like the movie. I don't fucking know. I feel like this movie would have been best if instead of focusing on, I don't know, and they tried to do this, but it feels like this movie tries to do two big things, right? It tries to do the Eternals and their lifetime as Eternals throughout the lifetime of humanity, and then it tries to do celestial stuff. The world's gonna end. You've been betrayed, like the lie and stuff. And those feel like pretty two drastically different things, and they go together, and it works okay. I feel like it might have been better if instead of. I think the movie should have focused more so on the we are Eternals, immortal, living with humanity, and then growing to love humanity, so that at the end is the final fucking thing in the movie is them learning the shit. You know, is them learn like granted there could be some plot in the modern day about the fucking the deviants and shit. You know, for further like expanding on them and everything, and then the second movie being more so about the Celestial and the Emergence and maybe even bringing the band back together, because like I think
you save the Icarus twist for the second movie.
I think so too, yeah.
You stay with Icarus for this movie, you find out at the end of this movie that, oh, this emergence thing that they've been building up is
and then the end of the second movie, oh shit, Icarus is a piece of shit and evil Superman. God damn it, another evil fucking Superman.
Yeah. But that'd be more compelling, I think, than...
Yeah, no, I think so too. Because you know.
There we go.
Yeah.
He's evil Superman, but only by perspective, because... If we're talking about purpose versus free will, he's actually good Superman, and Eternals are evil Eternals.
But but
only by that standard.
He is a man with Superman powers that the movie frames as scary. He flies around with fucking laser eyes. Look at how fucking scary he is.
The guy does the Batman trap with him and traps him in the thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And then
what was I gonna say though? Like I just feel like focusing on such
Wonder Woman.
literally. I don't know. I feel like focusing on such a more personal thing of like. Not having as much action in this movie, I mean, maybe a couple fucking deviant fights, like whatever, but focusing more so because like okay, I noticed this weird. So this movie's about getting the band back together. That's the structure, right? They go to each fucking people and they go keep flashing back to the time in their flashbacks and stuff, and that works. That's a good solid structure and stuff. But they get the band back together, like we meet everybody way too late. We don't really meet Phastos until the third fucking act, you know. Like
and we don't. The flashbacks don't give us.
We don't know who this person is up until the thing with the atom bomb, which I think that's a really good fucking scene. I think that's a great.
That should have come in earlier.
It should have come in way early. We should have known who these people are before we were expected to give a shit about the conflict. You know, because as it is, it's like I know who.
At what point was the atom bomb part? Because I
have no idea.
Right before we introduce him, it's like at the middle of the second act, I think.
Yeah.
Like towards the end of the second act. It's like before they meet him.
I just feel like spend a little bit less time getting the band back together. Like make it more of a a little fucking cheesy. Make it more of a fucking montage where we can meet the people and we know everybody by the end of Act 1. I think that's kind of important. Because then we go into Act 3, and then they're like, "Oh shit, we have to find a way to do the mind." Like I guess I didn't have the name for the mind meld yet or whatever. But we have to find a way to stop the emergence. And then there's 20-30 fucking minutes left in the movie, and then here's Phastos, and he can do it. And it just feels like, okay, we knew him, but we didn't know him. He wasn't really a point. He wasn't really an active player in the story, you know?
Yeah.
Because he wasn't. And so it's like to introduce him at that point. I'm just like, oh, cool. Great. Does this mean something to me? Like I didn't feel like any kind of like I didn't feel the weight that I was supposed to, and so I think it would have been better to just do that whole Phineas and Ferb getting the band back together storyline in this first act, you know, just quicker.
And I think
because the movie's at its best when everybody's interacting. I think so.
I also think they should have switched Thena and Gilgamesh's introduction with Makari's introduction.
Yeah, Makari was not. It was weird. Makari was just kind of thrown in there in the last act.
She was just
also.
there, and she was funny, and then also she's with Druig, I guess, or something. Which whatever.
Which
the robots.
Yeah, I missed a lot of what she said because my viewing experience had the subtitles in the wrong language, so that was fun.
Can I also just quickly say something about that one scene where I forget exactly where they are, but it's when the team splits all those years ago, because. And I said it in my really quick review that this film does two things that I really enjoy, like two storytelling tropes, and one of them was the hero corruption arc, which was Icarus, and I love seeing that.
Yeah,
is like whether it was good or bad, that's your opinion. I really liked it because it felt to me. I
think it worked. I think I actually liked it.
Evil for the sake of being.
I just didn't like the fact that he was a super. I'm just over it. Yeah. You know, it's a whole other thing. But I think for what he was in the story, I actually do think he worked. You know. And he might have been a little bit too quick, but I think it worked.
And they've done that before. They've been like, "Oh, he was evil all along," but like the thing is, he wasn't evil all along. He was always with them. He was always on board with it. And
they are the ones that really changed sides, and he just didn't change the side. Yeah, and that works.
That's sort of why I liked that. And the other thing that I liked was a trope, and I sort of like this trope, and I'm a bit biased, but it was because I saw it in a movie that everyone hates that I love, Tron Legacy, and it's the same trope there, done to a lesser extent in that movie, but I really vibe with it, and it's when you get a group of people that have like infinite life, where they're always in this one place to do whatever they can, and they have a single objective that is their sole purpose to exist. And then I love seeing this team of people slowly become disillusioned with it because they become moral, and then consequently the group splits. It's a really small trope that's only been done sparingly in other things, but I love it.
You know what thing did it best? You know what movie did it best? Scooby-Doo 1, baby. Scooby-Doo 1.
Yes.
Scooby-Doo 1. The worst one, but still a great movie.
I love that.
Another thing
for me, it feels very existential. Like when you get people with all those lives and they just split up because they don't have purpose anymore.
I don't hate the discussion of philosophy in this movie. I think there is something to be said that a Marvel movie is trying to do this for the first time, which is what makes it unique.
And it ends up being deeper than fucking Ship of Theseus. Really surface level type stuff. Have you heard of the Ship of Theseus? Have you ever heard of that? And it's like, quotes the Ship and everybody thinks that it's some crazy deep philosophical thing when that's like the first thing you look up when you Google philosophy. He probably smoked a joint.
I remember we were watching the finale and he said that and I'm like, oh god, people are gonna eat this up.
But then like I saw it, I was like, this is so fucking like basic, and then I saw on Twitter everybody be like, oh my god, that's so deep. Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
So contrived. I felt like I was the only one who thought that.
It was Aristotle, right? He had a couple mushrooms. He was like, dude, when they like bury me, am I still like me? Or am I like not me?
That is all that Greek philosophy was, to be honest, to be fair.
Yeah.
Just people getting like shit off their face and just saying things.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
That would happen. Bro, write that down right now. But yeah, I think with this, I'm trying to think of what else I had specifically. But I mean, I don't hate the discussion of philosophy. I just think that in application, a lot of concepts are thrown at the wall and then they don't really do anything with them. And who knows, maybe a sequel will do more with some of these concepts. But a movie I reflect on, which I didn't love this movie, but I do like it, and Scribe really likes it. Man from Earth. It's a movie that came out a long time ago. It stars Tony Todd, actually, as one of the characters. It's a very small movie. The idea is this guy he was a Neanderthal. He originally was a Neanderthal, but then for some reason he kind of figured out immortality, and he just has always lived. Yeah, he's always just lived forever. Vandal Savage. Yeah. And it's
Jesus Christ.
It's like
it is. That's what the character.
I know.
So he perpetually looks like he's 30, and so every so often he has to jump around. He was in a tribe, and basically the movie is, he's like a philosophy professor at this university, and he sits down with this group before he has to leave because he's getting older, but he doesn't look older. He's like 40 or 50, but he still looks kind of like he's 30 or 40. And the whole movie is just a discussion for like an hour and a half. And he's like, I'm going to propose to you a thing. I have lived forever. I have genetically have not aged. I have just lived forever. How do you guys tackle this philosophically? And so you have a doctor come in to talk about the biology of it. You have a philosopher come in and talk about the philosophy of it. You have a historian come in to talk about different points of history. He talks about his experiences throughout the whole thing. And eventually, I don't want to spoil the whole thing that happens in the movie. It's just a conversation, but he's really talking about the philosophy of like, when I was like at this age and I saw the tribes around me, this is how I felt about these tribes of men. And this is how I moved on from that point. And I feel like the Eternals, the fact that they have superpowers and all this other shit, they just address it like that. Especially one of the flashback scenes where they talk about like, oh, we could invent this thing and then solve all these problems. No, we're not going to do that. And then they make a joke out of it. And like, those jokes are fine. It's a Marvel movie. I get it. But then those are philosophical concepts that I've seen just tackled so much more seriously in other movies and even in books that I really wished, and I don't think it's Zhao's fault. I don't think she wanted to do this. I think part of it is just the fact that it has to be a movie marketable to so many people that you just kind of have to touch the concept and then move on to the next concept. Whereas I wanted this movie to like just dive deep, as deep as it's going with its cinematography, as deep as it's going with this visual language. I wanted to do that too with the concepts that they were talking about, but instead they kind of just, even for 2.5 hours, they kind of rushed through a lot of concepts, and I really wish they didn't do that, or they focused on a couple things. You know, I think the idea of the deviants being like these animals that were wasted, you know, by this god, and they feel wasted by this god, and they never had any and once their purpose was gone, they were just sent to be killed. That's such a very interesting theological concept that, like, the movie, maybe it will expand on a sequel, but they also fucking killed him off. So it's like, I don't know what they're gonna do with that. But I like that concept a lot. When I heard him monologuing after he killed Gilgamesh, I was like, he's talking about something to make these Eternals think. But instead of thinking about that, the Eternals have a full fucking emergence to worry about, and a Galactus-looking guy coming out of the earth. That it's like, focus on one thing, please. And hold that down. And Bailey kind of talked about where he is like, I missed the point where movies had a single theme that they threaded throughout the movie, and then the threading of that theme throughout the movie made that theme just stand stronger than anything else. The Dark Knight does that. The Spider-Man movies do that. Fucking normal movies do that. The Social Network does that, you know?
And if he's talking about early 2000s blockbusters, and the Pirates trilogy does that.
And the Pirates trilogy does that too, yeah.
Fucking Prisoner of Azkaban, like... There's a certain level of filmmaking that I think in the big blockbusters that we've kind of lost, and it feels really shitty. Yeah, and you would think that this would be that with Chloe Zhao. And I like my takeaway with this movie is like, I don't love the movie. I don't really like the movie. But if anybody else besides Chloe Zhao was directing this would be a shit show. This would be a fucking disaster of a movie. It'd be the worst movie, like fucking atrocious. But Chloe Zhao managed to make something that is so weird and has all these Marvel studio mandates, because that's really, I think you're right. I think the limitation of the studio kind of has killed a lot of important scenes and killed a lot of emotion and philosophical concepts.
I don't even think it's killed the scene. I think it's killed the way that they probably did the production. Because it wasn't, someone was telling me about her either boyfriend or husband, I don't remember, was working as a cinematographer on this, and was saying like they're kind of trying to force these like big things into a thing that's a little bit too small scale, or they're trying to force like small scale things into a thing that's too big scale. I don't remember what exactly he was saying, but he was talking about production just issues, not huge issues, but still general issues. And I think this isn't there's a difference between studio interference. What Zack Snyder went through with Justice League, that's studio interference. What Sam Raimi went through with Spider-Man 3, that's studio interference. This isn't studio interference. This is just the sad reality of the situation when you're making a movie like this. Yeah. That I don't think... you can make a movie and people will still love this movie, but like analyzing this movie and like looking deep into it, there is still this discussion of like, well, just go for it, man. Why aren't you just going for these fucking things? But they won't. They have to tackle like a bunch of stuff. And I think I didn't go into this movie with high expectations because people were like, oh, is it going to be actually shit? I went into this movie expecting it to be kind of utter dog shit. And it wasn't utter dog shit, but I still recognize that like it just didn't do as much as I think it had the potential to. Because it's from the opening cold open, the opening non-speaking cold open of them fighting these guys, seeing this village person, using their powers to help this village, and then giving him a small token of like appreciation, or a token of that fucking knife. That was such a beautiful little small thing of like, you can learn to love humanity. And the movie does some of that. And then I think along the second and third acts just forgets that was the message of the film. But yeah.
Basically what you're saying is release the Chloe Zhao cut.
Basically, sure. Why not? I don't think there is. Go for it. I think I saw someone say that Snyder should have directed this movie, and I think that it wouldn't be this movie. It would be probably a lot messier. It'd be interesting.
I think that point. I think it was Patrick Williams that said that. I think, and like I don't fully agree, because I do think Chloe Zhao did like a very good job, but I do think the Snyder cut, or sorry, Zack Snyder's Justice League, the official title, I think it tries to do this. this movie tries to do similar things to Snyder's Justice League, and it's not it's not just like, oh, there's a fast person and a Superman and fucking Wonder. It's not that, and that it's just these are very big characters and very big concepts, and like presenting these characters that are larger than life, and that is the thing that Zack, as much as I don't love all his movies, that is the one thing he's fucking great at. He is very good at presenting characters as being larger than life and still being relatively human, you know? And it's like, Chloe Zhao did a good job with it, but I think like comparatively, in terms of like Snyder Cut and this movie both tried to make gods into humans. You know, Snyder Cut, I think, was far more successful with that. And that might just be an experience thing. It might just be an experience that Snyder knew the characters probably more.
Time with them.
Time, yeah. And the movie, also the movie's fucking longer. The movie's 4 hours versus 2.5 for this. Yeah. Right. Like there's it's I don't think it's a matter of like, oh, he should have directed it, because like, I mean, it's kind of fucked to take, because it's kind of fucked to take this movie from Chloe Zhao, because it's like, it's Chloe, it's pretty, you know, and give it to Zack Snyder, who is not the
perfectly fine job with it. I really enjoyed it.
I think she did. I think she did a great job. I'm very impressed. I don't know. I didn't love the movie again, but I think the direction.
I'm not blaming the Bollywood shit on her.
Yeah.
If she did the Bollywood shit, I'd be like, but I'm not blaming that on her.
Yeah. So. It's like I said. I think if anybody else directed it, except maybe Snyder's, might have done an okay job with it. But I think if anybody else directed it aside from her, I think it would have been a fucking shit show. If fucking any other like Marvel star.
Imagine this as like not to shit on Peyton Reed too much, but like imagine if like that was like there was that kind of
if it was a Marvel director, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's like
you would have had to throw out a lot of this. It would have not worked at all.
The discussion is like, oh, it's not enough of an MCU movie. That's why it didn't succeed. No, I think the issues for me was that it is still too much of an MCU movie in the way that it's made, not in the way that it's structured or like tonally or anything. Actually, even though there are structuring issues.
You say that, and there was one moment which sort of frustrated me, which was at the very end. It's when
I think I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And it's when Thena gives that really rousing speech, and the guy walks in and he's like, it's okay, I already did the speech.
For me, it was when, for me, which that was also dumb, but for me it was when Sprite gave her super emotional, her whole crazy emotional thing, and then fucking, what's his name from the Green Knight smashes her over the head with a brick, and it was like, oh, that was pretty emotional. Ooh, that happened. Like, I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Character, but yeah, that was a lot.
It was. You know what? It was the most Marvel feeling joke in that, and I was like, "Oh boy!"
Yeah, he like fully just like walks up behind her and just goes.
Like,
also, I know people like the Icarus thing. Him flying into the sun, I kind of laughed.
It was fun. I laughed too. I was like, "Oh boy!"
Was stupid. I was like, they never addressed the fact that like of the legend. They were like, because they addressed all the other legends.
No, right? They addressed
Athena as like Athena.
Yeah. They said that it was.
Well, they said it was bullshit. They said they made it up.
They said Sprite made the story.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I was joking about that. I'm like, oh, what's the minute he's gonna fly into the sun? And at the end, he does it, and I'm like, what the fuck?
And that's also a very Superman-y thing to do too. That's super.
I thought he was just gonna pull a fucking Omni-Man. I thought he was just
gonna pick up the sun and throw it into.
Yeah.
Oh, he was gonna leave. Oh,
I thought okay, in the sequel or something, he's gonna be in like fucking Thor 4, and he's gonna fight Adam Warlock. Thor 4 foursome.
Thor 4 more Thor. That's what I'm calling that movie. I don't give a fuck what it's called. That's what it's called.
more Thor 4. But yeah, I don't know, that the ending to this movie, I was like, are you trying to be Dune? Stop trying to be Dune.
It felt a little Dune-ish.
I was like, it's a cool visual to see like the sky separate like that and shit, but I'm like, where the fuck are the Stark drones here? Not that I care. That's funny. But
it was a really cool shot at the end though, that you saw the Celestial just like looming over.
That was the only time. Cool. So I was like, during this final act where like the Celestial head was coming out of the Earth, I was thinking to myself, he is not nearly big enough. Like the way that Arishem was, and it's a different Celestial and shit's like fucking whatever. But like they
grew, didn't they?
Yeah, I get it. But it's like, I was just like, it would have been so much fucking cooler if it's like, oh shit, the head is coming out and it's just like the fucking tip of the finger or something. It's like, that's how fucking massive these things are. And I think we kind of get a sense of that scale in that shot of when Arishem shows up and like fucking steals them and shit. And we see just off in the distance, and he's super hazy because he's so far away and he's so big. Like that's a really good use of the scale. But I think in the final act, I was just like, it would have been cool to like have just a moment of like, oh boy, these boys are big, you know?
Yeah. It's just very weird.
These boys are big.
These big boys. I think it is weird to me that like this movie does it does a good job of building the Celestials as like big creatures, I think. It is weird. That's like I cannot picture the Avengers going up against these guys, and maybe that's
I think that's part of the point. But it's sort of like Homecoming, like the reverse, where Homecoming was like Avengers wouldn't go against like you could in Homecoming you feel that the Avengers wouldn't go against Vulture because he's just small time enough. Yeah. This is just so big that you can't picture fucking Tony Stark making quips. And
it's like for like an Avengers cross like. I don't think this like Eternals can just be a one-off where they do some shit with Celestials and that's it, and that's fine.
I would actually kind of be cool if it was just a one-off. I know they're gonna try and do sequels and shit. If this was just a one-off movie about the history of humanity and the concept of these immortal beings and understanding humanity, and then they save the world and now they like and then they fucking move on, I would really like that. But then it's some fucking crazy sequel and like
the crazy
Blade.
sequel and
Blade
Harry
actually
Styles and Blade.
I'm actually excited for Blade. That actually did
exist. So that was Blade. Okay.
Yeah, that was Blade.
Everyone in the cinema was like, "Yo," and I'm like,
I didn't recognize it was him at first. I thought it was.
I had to go look it
up. I think the Black Knight is a very cool, interesting. I don't know anything about that character, but
I just know he wears a jacket and a helmet.
He seems cool. Kind of that's a cool idea. I'm into knights, and I think the Ebony Blade is a really rad myth.
Oh, then you'll love this movie called The Dark Knight. You don't intimidate me.
I should. I have the power here. You think just because we're 2 hours in, I won't kick you? You know I will. Yeah. You know I can.
You wouldn't dare.
Christian, fuck you and everything you said for Jesus Christ. Yeah, I like Blade. I think it's weird that Blade is gonna tie into Eternals.
That's also weird too. Yeah,
that's strange. Like that's a weird pick. But
yeah.
I'm assuming
doesn't canonically Blade fight Celestials?
Yeah.
Does the Black Knight tie into? Does Blade? It tie into Eternals?
I don't think so. Which that was weird about having. I'm gonna call him Jon Snow because I don't remember his name. Like I was like this whole time I was like, why is this character in this movie? Yeah. Like he just felt...
Also the whole opening where they like talk about like, oh, Sprite told me you were a magician and stuff, and I'm like, does he know?
I was very confused about what he like understood about this current situation. Granted, like that might be because of my viewing experience. Wink, wink. Yeah. But Yeah.
I don't know that whole thing. He's felt very forced into the movie.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's also probably because like Kit Harington was like, oh, I'm not going to film. I don't know. Is Kit Harington Scottish?
No, go ahead. You do you. Go, keep going. Keep going.
I'm not going to do an Eternals movie. I can't fucking do this.
You got it. You good job. I'm so proud of
you. Thank you. I don't know. Maybe he just probably doesn't want to be in the movie for too long. I assume he's going to be like in a sequence during Blade whenever Blade
I mean, he and Blade are on a team in the comics. Black Knight and Blade. It's like A13, I think, or something like that.
Okay, then that makes more sense, I guess.
But I don't really want. Kind of out of nowhere. Can I say something? Can I say something really quick? I don't want any more fucking teams in the MCU. I'm sick of them. I'm sick of them.
Honestly,
stop giving me ensembles.
It's feeling like the fucking CW.
I'm so tired of it. I just want like if the Blade movie has Black Knight, has like all of like a bunch of other superheroes involved, I'm gonna be like, God fucking damn it, just give me a Blade movie.
You know what's funny? You're gonna get it again with the Marvels in like
that's right.
Year after that.
That's right.
You're gonna have more of them.
Oh Jesus.
And Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor. Thor is gonna be another team thing. Movie.
And like I understand supporting cast. I get that.
Yeah.
But it's like even Spider-Man has the team.
Yeah.
It's Spider-Man.
Right, here's my 2 cents to this. Shang-Chi, I loved it, and I could not stand Awkwafina.
Oh, I totally disagree. I actually really like Awkwafina.
And that's the thing. I love her in The Farewell. She was perfectly cast in The Farewell, but in Shang-Chi, I honestly could not stand her. I like her, she's cool, but not in that movie.
Maybe just my expectations with Awkwafina. I liked her in Shang-Chi. But
I thought she was going to be as bad as she was in Raya the Last Dragon, and she was better than that.
See, I didn't even see Raya the Last Dragon. I
did not either. I just saw a lot of clips and trailers, and I was like, this is enough.
It was fun. that was coming from the perspective of like that's also a kids movie, so like they sort of need to ham up.
All these movies are kids movies,
marketable
though,
dragon.
So, yeah.
I know, but like that has to, they have to ham up the marketable dragon being a bit annoying so that the kids can have a laugh at it.
I guess
Whereas
so, but I don't know. I feel like
yeah.
Disney has made it so like they are so they're fucking Disney. They have a place in the industry to the point where it's like they don't have to do that. They're not Illumination.
Like they do it with like Olaf and Frozen. They don't have to do it, but
And
they still do
it's
it.
weird
Helps,
with him.
it
It's
sells.
weird with him too. I don't like that. It was weird, but the fucking the chicken was great in Moana though. I really love the chicken because the chicken didn't fucking talk. It was just Alan Tudyk making chicken noises. It was perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Disney. I think Disney at least should know by now that they don't need to. Like Pixar knows this. Pixar knows they don't have to make a fucking quirky little animal sidekick that talks and is Donkey from Shrek to be successful with kids. You know, Luca was successful with kids, and they didn't have that.
The only joke they had in Homecoming was I'm watching porn. That is the only joke canonically in that movie to me.
That's the only thing in that
only one I
movie. That's the only thing that actually happened because Spider-Man's not real.
Wait, in what?
But
I made a 15-minute video on
yeah.
it. I'm watching porn joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Oh wait, yeah.
but
So yeah, do we have any other thoughts though about the sex scene? About sex being canon? In the
Oh
MCU?
yeah, the sex scene happened. We didn't talk about the sex scene because it was
We didn't talk
that
about it
short.
enough. We didn't talk. It's the best scene in the movie because
is the
it
best
showed
scene
me
in the
that sex is
movie.
real.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was real.
Yeah. No.
Why is it such a big thing?
And you can have it
Because
in the sand?
it's I'm only making it a thing because all these fucking articles were coming out about like the Eternals introduces something to the MCU ... sex and like fully serious, and it's the dumbest like discourse I've ever seen, but I just love the idea of sex being canon now. And I said it with Shang-Chi also. I said that Shang-Chi made vaginas canon, and so now this made sex canon.
I think it's funny because there's a reason that scene takes place in a flashback. Is before then, sex didn't really
They
exist
invented
until
sex.
Mesopotamia.
That's what happened.
In Mesopotamia.
Oh my
they
God,
invented
holy
sex,
shit.
And then after that, did life actually take off?
It's so true.
It is kind of funny because it's like, imagine if the Eternals had to invent sex.
Fastos had to do
The
it.
point of the point.
Can you imagine like,
the
you can't interfere with humans. Well, they're gonna die off unless we don't
We
show
gotta make
them
them fuck at
something.
least. It's just the thought of somebody running one of those MCU breakdown channels that's like all the Easter eggs and all the hidden and this thing explained, making a sex scene in Eternals explains
all
what
the
is
sex
it?
scenes in the MCU
is the funniest thing to me, and I want Super to do a reaction to it.
But he yells the same way. He's like, he shows a scene. He's like, I'm not gonna.
He's like, "Let's go!"
Yeah. Oh god. It's time. The sex scene in Eternals is on 4K HD.
He's gonna be in movie theaters. Love
He
to
is
see it.
gonna
I'm
be
so
in-
proud of him. Honestly, good job. That's a good.
Good for
That's
him.
pretty fucking
I'm
awesome.
I'm just gonna have to wear headphones to the movies now. That's it.
What if he whispers in the movies? He does ASMR. He should do ASMR. Somebody get him on the line. Get him to do ASMR, please. I want him to.
ASMR.
He'd be the most
Maybe he sits on the
relaxing.
podcast
He would get me
and
to
do
sleep so
ASMR.
quickly.
Oh Jesus. Sips, if you're watching, which is you're not, but if you are, I love your I do kind of love your reactions because it's fun to watch. It is fun to watch. But yeah, Eternals mid. Hassan can go fuck himself. Christian, I didn't beat you to death, but I beat you to a pulp.
Oh, did Hassan like it too?
No, you didn't.
Hassan loves it. Of course he loves it. He's fucking Hassan.
Yeah, Hassan loves Tasm too.
We had a very, very mature discussion.
We
about
had a
what
mature
worked and what
discussion,
didn't
but
work
I'm
for
gonna
us.
recolor this entire discussion to be I beat this shit out of you.
Yeah, and I'm gonna recolor it to be
You
that
lost.
Christian was just so unprofessional and so rude, and just so unaccepting of our other beliefs, and he's so indicative of modern discourse with Marvel.
I'm gonna make a twit longer about how Christians should be canceled.
Thanks, guy. You know, and it will work. So
Yeah.
thanks. What do you think? He
Yo,
disagrees.
Ar-
I've
Arsham
consulted, and he
Ar-
disagrees.
you consulted with Arsham. That
Yes.
was a good visual motif, though. I will say. Last point, the little she presses the thing or whatever, and you see the cloud Arsham, and he's like, "Ooh, that's cool." I want that in more Marvel movies. I want to see Tony Stark fucking get called by Arsham, and he's like, "You." Or what's a funny thing that Arsham can't say funny things? What's a dumb thing Arsham can say?
Can I wear the cape?
You
never met a real wizard before. Can I wear the cape?
I'm not looking for it. I'm gonna make that a fucking. I'm gonna put like a picture of Ned, and it's gonna say, "Never met a real wizard before. Can I wear the cape?"
I want Ned to meet Arasham and say that. Oh, I've never met a real celestial before. Can I
wear the helmet?
I swear to God, if that is real and if that is in the trailer, I'm gonna fucking shit myself. I'm gonna like, I don't think I could go on any longer.
What is it from?
Sorry to explain the joke, everybody. There was a leaked, like somebody made like a leak, like leaked, quote unquote, the next Far From Home or No Way Home trailer because it's the same fucking title. The same No Way Home, the next No Way Home trailer is gonna have a scene like a quirky little moment where Ned says to Doctor Strange, "I've never met a real wizard before," and then silence, and then can I wear the? Or he's like, "Can I wear the cape?" And then, and I quote the leak: Doctor Strange makes an annoyed face. And just the annoyed face really did it for me in terms of like, fuck, that is a Marvel joke to put in a trailer. And it
annoyed.
I just want to die. It's not like, and it's not even like the worst thing. I know it's not a fucking huge deal, but it is so real feeling that I'm like, fuck, man, he really got me.
I'm very much looking forward to that actually happening in the trailer.
I swear.
And
I don't think on that note, though, on that trailer, that leak, that it also said that it ends with Andrew and Toby's theme being mixed. Yeah. That's not happening. You can't. They're so radically different. That's not how that fucking works.
Yeah.
Samuel Kim would say otherwise.
Okay, well, Samuel Kim doesn't make the fucking trailer music, does he?
He makes better
music.
I know he does. I know. I love Samuel
Kim. Music.
He eventually will. I'll bet you he's gonna be on the route to like Boss Logic level of like.
You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna get
promotional material.
They're gonna get They're gonna take one of Samuel Kim's things and put it in a trailer and then not credit him. Yeah, they're gonna compensate.
Oh my, we didn't talk about that with Hawkeye.
We didn't.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
With Hawkeye, like using
the artist,
with using David Aja's
and
like whole aesthetic.
BTS, the Batman BTS, where they used the piano cover the guy did like a year ago.
That's right, I remember that.
And then didn't compensate him for anything.
What the fuck? These companies have really fucking. They're fucking.
They just forget.
They want a class war. I think so. Yeah. I think they want it. They want us to get the guillotine out.
And especially with, I don't know, not to end on a depressing note before are we going to do Patreon questions?
I forgot to ask. I forgot.
That's fine. I guess I'm ending on a depressing note. Especially the stuff I saw recently with like the Travis Scott concert, where I'm like, did you see that stuff?
No, I didn't.
Okay, if anyone,
I did actually. Oh yes, I did. Yeah, that's awful.
8 people died and stuff. Where it's like so many people with, not to be full, and I saw a tweet about it that articulated it really well. Where so many like companies are like so focused on because even you got to think about the people at that event were just so focused on their job because that's all they're being told to do. Where there's no grander picture to anything here. It's just this is what you're assigned to do and that's it. And I feel like that's gonna bite because the editors probably picked that music and was like, "This is cool, we're gonna use it."
Yeah, and then I'll bet you with something with like the Batman with the Batman BTS stuff. I bet you it was like, cool, let's get the rights to this music. Hey, fucking producer, let's get the rights to this. Oh, it's some fucking loser on YouTube. No, we don't need to get the rights to this.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's always higher ups. It's never the editor. It's never the creative people. It's always fucking like it's not the poster designer's fault that they didn't credit David Aja.
Then you'll see those people get fired.
Yeah.
But then you'll see those people get fired.
Fucking nobody in a position of power in any situation is ever creative. Except for maybe fucking Kevin Feige. And I think that's why people are connected to him, you know? Nobody in a producer studio level thing is ever creative in any fashion. They exist to hire the creative people. But they don't give a fuck about the creative people. They don't give a fuck about credit. They don't give a fuck about like, oh God. Every podcast we do turns into some fucking communist manifesto through the form of media discourse.
Hasanabi's gonna love us.
Yeah.
But
let's get him on the podcast. Let's go.
Yeah. That's why he's just gonna do his fucking laugh, and I'm gonna be like,
yeah, I don't even know. I don't even get those jokes. I just follow him on Twitter.
Every time he laughs, he laughs like every single time. I don't know why. It pisses me off.
Tax
I don't
the
like
rich,
saying people
Mithi.
laugh.
Tax the rich.
Tax the rich Tax the rich. I wear this shirt. But yeah, I don't
Make
know.
the rich pay.
Make the rich
Peg
pay.
the patriarchy.
Make the patriarchy. Get all the rich people to subscribe to our Patreon.
Honestly.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the final thoughts on it. Okay, we gave our final thoughts on the Turtles. I don't know. This movie gives me weird feelings. I think they can do a sequel to this really well.
Mm-hmm.
They just have to seriously rethink the way they portray these characters, or like focus on certain characters.
I'm very worried.
Really.
A sequel to this feels like it's just going to be Guardians, though. I'm trying to think about like what they're gonna think. You know, like yeah. I can't see. Maybe because I just don't know the characters and shit. What can you do with this idea of entities that have lived on Earth for so long, and what do you do with them after they save the world and realize that humanity is good? Like, what do you do with that? Aside from maybe like pulling a Good Place and having like things get reset or going through like really like, I mean, really Good Place is a better philosophical discussion about the nature of humanity.
Good Place is like, I wonder, most perfect really shows ever made.
Yeah,
you could maybe do something. This is only a one-trick pony, but you could do something about them revealing the Eternals as beings on Earth.
But then you know what that is? That's fucking Man of Steel.
Oh, yeah,
that's exactly this, and more so I guess more so BVS. That's the same thing though. Are aliens God? How would people react if God exists? And it's like, I get it, and there's a place for that and shit. But how do you continue a story into? Not to say that these would go on for fucking 10 movies, but hypothetically, how can you continue them? And I don't really see a ton of potential with these characters to do more than just a single story.
You see all of these properties now in Phase 4 basically trying to reinvent the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And not the wheel, and by the wheel I mean the entire world. First it was WandaVision. There's this huge magic thing that's been at play for so long, and it's amounting to some crazy thing. And I
think the reason for that is they are realizing, fuck, we wrote ourselves in a corner by making everything else about the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
We fucked up by making everything about the fucking Tesseract.
Loki is like, this time travel shit can change the world and
I'm
destroys
okay with
everything.
That. I actually really like that. That's my favorite thing about these newer projects is that it is saying, the world is totally different to what you knew. And I really like that because I've never been a fan. I've always felt that the MCU was very limited.
It's weird to see. I wonder how many times can they pull this trick.
That's true.
Because with Eternals, it's like, okay, now the Celestials are the huge thing. And it's like, what the fuck are not that power levels have to be balanced. I think we're just used to the MCU being so consistent, and now it should be allowed to be a little bit inconsistent here, just because there's so many stories at play. But it is kind of weird to think retroactively when they do their next big Avengers crossover event, it's like the Celestial guys with the Time guys with Scarlet Witch, who could basically fucking do anything. That's why
this is my really hot take. I don't ever want to see an Avengers Endgame again. I think they need to. They're gonna try. They're gonna do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see big level crossovers anymore. I think they peaked. You know, say what you will about Endgame, but like that is kind of the epitome of what they could do with that type of story. You know, I can't imagine a crossover with the Eternals and Wanda and the TVA, ever being at all interesting. Aside from fucking what if and fan servicey, you know?
It has to be genuinely like the highest budget show of all time, where you just see characters
or the lowest budget and they're just talking, they're just chilling. That would actually be more interesting. I'd rather instead of
that's where you get your Ned and Arsham scene.
Oh no! Oh yeah, you're so right. But I feel like we all assume that the next direction is to expand scope, when I think it's really, and I think Shang-Chi does a better job of this. Of being like, there are these things, and they're the most powerful weapon in the world. Oh yeah, they're not Infinity Stones. They're not at all that. They're something completely different. And guess what? They're fucking cool as hell, and they've got their own power and their own shit. You know, there's nothing wrong with introducing new things. I just think like they always have to make it bigger. You know, and that might just be a matter of we just had Loki, Wanda, and Eternals all in the same year, so it's like it feels like they're just kind of expanding. And the same with fucking Spider-Verse.
Are you trying to say that the hierarchy is about to change?
I did not even think about that.
I swear to fucking God.
Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you, everybody.
The Fanboy Talk podcast.
That actually is a good way to wrap that up.
That's a good way to end the episode.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. This has been Troy Boy 17. I forgot to ask for questions yet again, but we're at 2.5 hours, so we're pretty good.
Yeah. Go watch Eternals. Make up your own mind.
Go watch Eternals, but be safe in the theater because we're in a pandemic and Marvel movies are.
That is very true.
I'm gonna be real. I'm terrified for No Way Home. I'm gonna like. That's gonna be a nightmare.
It's gonna be. They need to start doing the drive-in shit. Yeah. Come on, guys. Start doing the drive-in shit, please. Just fucking. Yeah.
Or
do
fucking.
it in like a Grand Canyon.
I don't even fucking know. Or at least make movie theater tickets like $5 so I can buy 6 of them and just surround me.
Release it for free so I can watch it on YouTube.
Release it for free so I can make videos about it easily. That's what. That's the nobody's talking about this.
Just don't release them.
I've seen. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. Nobody has mentioned this because it's fucked up. The pandemic has been very good for video essayists because we've gotten the movies. We get the files easily and quickly instead of having to fucking loop the trailer over and over or really try and find some behind the scenes shit. We just have the scenes we're talking about, and it's pretty nice. It's pretty for all the shit the pandemic has done bad. Though that's been one thing that has actually been kind of good to me, and I am thankful.
The peak of that was Suicide Squad. You saw so many people make Suicide Squad.
Granted, I guess the problem with that though is that everybody's spoiling the fucking movie on Twitter, but that's all.
Yeah.
That's an American thing.
And they do that anyways. Yeah. They do that anyways. Yeah. Thanks guys for listening.
Yeah, thank you everybody. And check the Christian if you wanna. Do you wanna plug yourself? Say your shit.
Sure. Keep an eye out for my socials because I'll be putting more behind the scenes for the pirate stuff coming soon.
Pirate shit looks cool. Very, very cool. It's going to be really awesome.
We love pirates.
Stay tuned for a trailer for my thing soon also because that might be coming out soon.
That'll be fun. Spider-Man next month. I'm going to die, but I've got fun. I'm actually very excited for this new video. I'm actually having a really fun time with it. So, but yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody. It's Troy Boy 17, and I'll see you guys around. Goodbye.
Ratio.
Bazinga.